You may be moving a little slower because you're at Summerfest last night.
Yeah. Definitely.
Can't wait to hear about that.
What did Marshawn Lynch say? I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You saw
that one was for Brandon.
You saw the Eric Church concert last night. How was it?
Fantastic. He never misses. Wish he could have played longer. He wanted to play all night. I mean, I've seen him play shows for 3 hours, but at the, what is it now? The
American Family Amphitheater?
At the amphitheater, they make you shut it off at 11:30.
Yeah, which is probably a good rule. Right?
Probably a good rule.
Yeah, because otherwise you would be in much worse shape.
Yeah.
See, I was smart. I was home by dinner time.
If I had known it was going to go past 11:30, I might have called in a friend and gotten a sub.
Phone a friend.
Yeah. And that would be
Sarah Godlewski. She's a state employee now. You can't do that one anymore.
All she does is talk about elections now. All right, gentlemen, Bill and Joe. Let's start with you, Bill. Lots of work in Madison. We're getting closer to a budget.
We have a budget through the Joint Finance Committee. It still needs to pass both houses of the legislature, but the GOP budget, there's a lot to be excited about. It taxes less, it spends less, and it borrows less than Governor Evers. All things I think I predicted here back in February. They've accomplished those goals, historic increases in school funding, a major literacy package that will be finalized this next week, a historic tax cut, massive investment in housing, massive investment in local government, huge historic investment in transportation, and criminal justice. More cops on the streets, more pay for prison guards. So I'd say overall, this is an A budget for the Republicans. Well done.
All right, Joe, from the Democratic side of the aisle, what does that look like to you?
I don't like this new seat. I just want to say that.
Now you got to look at me, brother.
And some missed opportunities, in my view. Zeroing out the school safety tip line that the Department of Justice had been running, more than 6,000 anonymous tips. No new money for broadband expansion. Still have not expanded Medicaid, which would have brought us an additional $1.6 billion from the feds. And a cut at a time of a $7 billion surplus to the University of Wisconsin system, one of the absolute gems of our state. So are there good things in this budget? Absolutely. Is this the perfect budget cycle? No. There were some real missed opportunities that Republicans
I think you
JFC
and I are going to agree that for the first time in 3 budgets under Governor Evers and Republican majorities, they did find consensus on a couple key issues. Grand bargains, we like to refer to them as.
Is
shared revenue for sure.
Bargain?
Grand.
Oh, okay.
Grand.
I thought it was like attorneys general.
Yeah. Shared revenue, schools, transportation, those are all areas that everybody wanted to see addressed, and they were. And 2 of those are already signed into law. The transportation piece is still in the budget. So there was a level of trust that was established between the Republican majorities and the Evers administration on some key items.
But not a circle of trust.
And that's important because once this bill passes the legislature, the governor will have his way with his partial veto.
So, gentlemen, what will survive? What will it look like when the governor does his thing?
I think there will be significant partial vetoes based on what they did last night and maybe over the last week. There weren't agreements on the tax package, for example, although they did take the governor's advice. He said, if you pass a flat tax, I'll veto the whole budget. They did not pass a flat tax. They flattened the progressive income tax that we already have. They made it more competitive with other states. We're still going to have the highest top rate other than the state of Minnesota in the Midwest. But they did a nice job of lowering that rate to try and keep money here in the state of Wisconsin. I don't know that the governor is going to go along with the reduction in the top rate, but I think what they did by combining the middle 2 rates and lowering the bottom rate, I could see that he could sign those into law.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way it is now, if you make $50,000 or if you make $400,000, you get taxed at the same rate. That's not very progressive. I would have liked to see, I think Democrats would have liked to see more relief targeted to that lowest bracket under 36,000, only like 0.4%, as opposed to the 15 to 17% cuts at the highest end, those earners making more than $400,000. It's just a different philosophy.
How
right?
much tax are you paying on $36,000?
Not much.
I mean, you can only cut so much
and
out
you
of
may
a small
be receiving
number.
other benefits at that level, too.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand the argument because it plays well in politics, but you're not paying that much. The small percentage probably makes fiscal sense.
And letting those folks have more money in their pocket means more money is spent and is moving through the economy. That's better for the state than, that $100 to that family or that individual means more than $1,000 does to somebody making $500,000 a year. That's the point.
On the issue of UW cuts, so the governor will look at that and say that's not happening. So where does that go then from there?
So the question will be how the bill is drafted, and that will determine what the governor's options are on the partial veto. And I happen to be listening to Speaker Voss on a different radio station on the way in. He doesn't think that the governor can eliminate the cut. Having worked for a governor for 10 years, I'm not so sure about that. I think the governor's got sort of extraordinary power when it comes to the partial veto, but he could potentially eliminate that cut and then also insert the $32 million they parked as an increase for UW. I think that probably is the best case scenario that UW can hope for, is the $32 million cut goes away and they get the $32 million that's parked at the Joint Finance Supplemental. That's probably the best case. Maybe the truth lies somewhere in between there. But I think the deeper point here, Steve and Joe, is UW needs a new relationship with the Capitol. They have had this wrong now this entire budget cycle. They're talking past one another on this issue of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I don't understand how they could be missing each other by so much, but my guess is a lot of those chancellors are missing the days when Tommy Thompson was the president of the University of Wisconsin system, because he actually got them new money, $8 million in new money, plus he did away with the tuition freeze. So the system did far better under Tommy Thompson than they did in this particular budget, and that gets to relationship and understanding what they're telling you.
On this DEI piece, is there common ground on this? Because it seems like both sides are vastly
There's
far
not,
apart.
but let's not pretend that this is all about DEI, right? I mean, how do you build a relationship with Republicans who, for the first time in, 1,000 years, are willing to say no to WMC when they're like, we need this new engineering building. We need more graduates with engineering degrees. And Republicans on Joint Finance are like, no, absolutely not. How do you build that relationship? They can claim it's all about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but let's be real, it's deeper than that. There is an opposition to the University of Wisconsin system that now they're trying to paper over by saying it's about DEI. It's way more than that.
Is it punishment? Because to that engineering piece, it sort of sounds like it.
Well, I think there is some punishment probably being meted out, for some things that have happened over either on campus in Madison in particular, or the perceived things that have happened on campus, including bringing in Eric Holder to be the commencement address speaker. Listen, my kid graduated. I was at that ceremony. It wasn't political, but Eric Holder is a political figure in a very deep way. And so I don't think that was great judgment on the part of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I'm a Badger. Listen, I want the University of Wisconsin system to do well. I believe, as former Commerce Secretary, that it is an integral part of the future of the state of Wisconsin, and it has been since its inception. And I believe in the Wisconsin idea, but I think they have to find a different way to communicate with GOP lawmakers on what value they're adding. By the way, I think the engineering building is not dead. And the speaker essentially said that yesterday, and so did the members of the Joint Finance Committee, Mark Bourne in particular. I think that's a possibility that will come back in the fall.
Outside of the state budget?
Yeah, I do.
Who is the bridge builder on the side of Republicans when it comes to UW? Give me a name or names.
Well, I think it starts with who is it on the University of Wisconsin system side,
All right?
right?
Let's look at it from that perspective.
Who do they have that can communicate with Speaker Voss and Majority Leader Lemieux? I don't think they have somebody like that at this point in time. So which means the regents need to identify somebody that could either fill that role, or they need to sort of reposition Jay Rothman so that he can do a better job at that. I would say, having watched this almost on a daily basis in the Capitol, I don't think the strategy was very good by University of Wisconsin system. I think Jay Rothman was overused. I know him. I like him. I respect him. But you don't have the CEO in the Capitol daily. I saw Jay Rothman in the Capitol more than any other lobbyist over the last 2 months. That was overuse on his part and on his staff's part. His staff should have been doing most of that work.
Well, I mean, if they could thaw the Evers-Voss-Lemieux relationship, perhaps there's some opportunity on the UW side of things.
Listen, if you go through the roster of the 132 lawmakers, probably a majority of them graduated from one of the UW schools. So there is a base to work with in the Capitol. It isn't an R versus D thing necessarily. It's a What are you doing to advance the Wisconsin idea, and how can we all work together on that?
He is Bill McCosh and Joseph Pecky in studio on this Friday, as always, 9 o'clock hour, Political Power Hour here on WTMJ. If you have a question, I already got a few popping up on the Old National Bank. Talk and text line 855-616-1620. All right, so you got the Brewers funding. Where's that going to go? And then this question about a lawsuit coming out of Milwaukee back against the legislature and the new law. We'll discuss that after this short break here on WTMJ.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
All right, team, big gig coming up. Wisconsin's Morning News Band got a spot this year. So get your stuff, your instruments. Time for rehearsal. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thankfully, the actual gig will be better than this.
You guys sounded great.
Join WTMJ as we broadcast live from the grounds all Summerfest long at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone in the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio. And we promise the music will be better than this.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. For Advent, I've talked about a tossing and turning, waking my poor wife Kathy up. Nobody wants that. You don't have to deal with that if you go to Advent like I did. Quick 30-minute visit. They put me at ease. Their docs are amazing. Their facilities are best you can imagine. I did a really simple sleep study under their guidance at home. They determined the root cause of my problem. I had to do my sinuses and nasal passages. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well. My wife and I sleeping better than ever. Decades of poor sleep replaced by great sleep. That could be you. If you struggle like we did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com, schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Experience fast, affordable family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. With on-site camping, free parking, and free admission for kids 16 and younger when accompanied with an adult, Road America offers world-class racing and so much more. From sports cars to NASCARs, you can even host your next company picnic or family reunion. Get the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or call 800-365-7223. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Need a new bank for your small business? How about an old one? For a limited time, you can earn up to a $500 cash bonus when you open a free or basic business checking account with Old National. So think big when it comes to your small business and choose a bank where relationships and results have mattered for nearly 200 years. Visit a local banking center or learn more at oldnational.com/success today. Complete qualifying activities within 60 days of account opening. $50 minimum initial deposit required. Account must remain open 120 days. Member FDIC. Old National Bank. Get old.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
A little bit of chicken fried and cold beer on a Friday night.
Who's that artist?
Zach Brown. Playing
Next
Summerfest tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Are you going back?
No,
You need a night
good.
off, oh, man.
This is when young Joe realizes he's not as young as he thinks he is. All right, let's talk about Brewers funding. We thought it might be part of some package, but now we are talk that it'll be separate. Is this a warning sign?
I think if I were the city, I would view it as a warning sign, right? So as soon as the shared revenue package was signed in Wausau, for of all places,
Why was that?
Why are you down on Wausau?
I like Wausau. I'm from northern Wisconsin. By the way, we call Wausau southern Wisconsin. I'm from Superior. That's southern Wisconsin.
Shout out to Mayor
me.
Katie Rosenberg, who's been on this show.
Okay, so shortly after that, the city council president, Perez, said, yeah, I don't like this deal. We're going to hire an outside attorney and sue on some of the provisions that directly impact Milwaukee, including related to the hub, the streetcar. And, that puts the mayor in a very difficult spot because remember, the mayor, the county executive, and the governor all agreed to each of these provisions. They may not like them, but that's how grand bargains work. You give some, you get some. So the mayor's in a tough spot. He's got to get a 2/3 majority to get his sales tax passed. And I understand if I'm him, I say nothing about this and say, I did what I had to do to get us this opportunity and then start working my members. But I think the city council sort of is over their skis on this one and sent a very negative signal to GOP majorities in the Capitol. And I think, to a certain degree, the Brewers paid the price for it. And the other problem the Brewers have is there's not a lot of urgency to that deal. There's still several years left on their current lease, so it's not like this has to get done today. So I'm pretty certain that this is going to slip till the fall.
And Joe's wearing a Brewers cap today.
And shirt. The full Brewers regalia.
Wow.
The full experience.
Wow.
Go Brewers.
Very nice.
I've made my position clear on this. I think these taxpayer-funded, hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars to professional sports teams that are valued in the billions is absolute insanity.
Why do you hate the?
I love the Milwaukee Brewers. It is obscene that the same stadium that I have to pay $11 for a beer at is going to get tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer funding. These businesses are profitable. They make great money.
That's how the game is played now.
I understand. That doesn't
Playing
mean
the
that's
role
the way
of
it
Bill
should be.
McCutcheon today is Joe Zepecki.
And what we see at every level of government, Bill is exactly right, is that there's, without a deadline, right, without it,
there's no urgency.
Lawmakers like to procrastinate, whether it's the debt ceiling
I did
or
it in
the
college,
budget.
right?
Me, I never procrastinate.
It creates
What are you
the
talking
creative
about?
juice to get stuff done.
I never knocked out
Deadlines.
an
We
11-page
love
paper
deadlines.
in
Brewers
an hour
aside,
before it
though,
was-
so you get the money or the opportunity to get the money through this tax increase that you still have to vote for, and then you're going to sue them. That's going to tick some. I was going to say something. That's going to tick some people off.
Yeah, and put yourself in the shoes of the common council members here who have Republican lawmakers saying, you don't know what you're doing. You can't run your own city. We're going to tell you how to do it. We're going to tell you what money to spend.
Sometimes that's right.
Okay, and I don't think we should be surprised that people who were not in the room for the deal have some complaints about the deal.
They're not in the room where it happened.
Right. They're going to pound the table. They're going to hoot and holler. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to do the right thing. And I think they will.
But the guys who were elected by bigger constituencies, Tony Evers and Chevy Johnson, were in the room, right?
And those common council members and every local elected, they're so humble when it comes to that kind of comparison.
Right?
As
Yeah,
you know,
I'm sure they
having
defer.
worked with elected
We'll
officials,
just defer
they
to
go,
you.
"Oh, you got more votes than I did.
Yeah, you
know
got this."
best. I'll just go along."
Nothing was
Come on.
stopping them from going to these 4 hearings that were all scattered around middle of nowhere in Wisconsin.
I think probably some of them did.
Did they?
Yeah.
This is a problem of Milwaukee's making, not of this council, not of Chevy Johnson, not of
Right, generationally. you're saying.
generational,
You're right.
And the Republicans in the legislature gave Milwaukee and the county an opportunity to address these issues for the long haul. And it sort of looks like you're looking a gift horse in the mouth by picking apart the deal after the fact.
What was it your old boss used to say? Stick it to Milwaukee.
One time.
Right.
I was with him. It was in Neilsville.
Right. And imagine
And
that
this is
imagine
pre-internet,
that 40
really.
years later,
before
people
Twitter.
still feel a certain way about Republican
Knowing
lawmakers.
Hillsville very well, he's playing to the crowd.
Well, he was. At 7:30 in the morning, the crowd went crazy. But by the time him and his Harley group got to Milwaukee that night, he presented John Norquist with a cake. You can find
And a kiss on the cheek. No,
you
I
can
just made
actually
that up.
dig up the history on this, and it's a funny
I don't have
conclusion
to dig it up. You're right here.
Yeah, but that was an
Residential-
interesting
resident
day.
historian.
Yeah,
Bill
where we're
McCutcheon.
using landlines to call and say, "Oh, we had a Thompson moment. We got to clean this up."
He's playing the room, man.
He was playing the
I've
room,
been in Neilsville,
and they loved it.
They're not Milwaukee friendly there. Trust me.
They're not.
No, it's a great place though.
Yeah, it is.
I do some deer hunting around there.
Do you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
great cheese in that area too.
Cheese, yes.
Yes,
And
Nasonville Dairy is one of my favorite.
if you find the right Amish family, some great bakery as well.
Yeah.
Man, they're cranking out apple pies that are amazing. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're no power.
Do you tell them how to make the apple pies?
Why would you say that?
Well, I mean, maybe that's what Republican lawmakers should stop telling the Common Council of Milwaukee how to make apple pies.
That's a reach for
So,
that.
I think people
Listen.
are right. People are right to be. They're going to feel a way about that.
I think David Crowley and Chevy Johnson have done an unbelievable job of reestablishing a relationship between the city of Milwaukee, the county of Milwaukee, and the GOP majorities in the legislature. They're in a sort of a difficult time where they both need to get 2/3 of their council and county board to agree to these increases. But ultimately, those were done for the benefit of the people of Milwaukee, and I give Chevy and David Crowley credit for the work they've done. And if I'm them, I keep my head low and just get my votes and get it done.
Quick one for Joe. Mistake for the mayor to trot up to Wausau when he had a shooting after the Juneteenth celebration.
I mean, he invested,
Very next day.
there. If he listen, there are shootings. Sadly, every day, every other
Every day that ends in a Y.
Milwaukee. Yeah, I mean, he invested a lot of time and effort into trying to help the city of Milwaukee avoid bankruptcy. That bill is the best path to do that.
Agreed.
And elected leaders need to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't know if there was a way to do both. But anybody trying to score points for that
I'm
choice.
just asking.
I think the bill should have been signed here, actually.
Yeah, what was the Wausau piece? I don't get it.
I think the optics were that everybody benefits from this, that it isn't Milwaukee only, but I think most people understand that Milwaukee benefited the most. Although every community got a minimum of a 20% increase in their...
The local leaders are happy about it.
Yeah, plus they got a ton of money in road aids, too. So local communities did super well. So did counties in this biennial budget, and that's one of the things that they can all be proud of.
Republicans who say Democrats are all about Madison and Milwaukee are now complaining that the governor is going to Wausau to sign historic legislation.
Look at Joe
Jeez
fact-checking us.
Louise.
Come
Nice.
on. Joe Zepecki, sharp after a long night at Summerfest.
Eric Church. We're going to have him crooning in one of these segments.
Yes, Joe Zepecki singing next half hour here on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ. Analyzing the best of the diamond from every degree. Brewers 360. Your comprehensive look at all things Brewers, on and off the field.
Swing and a drive to right and deep. Get up!
Hear from Brewers reporters, announcers, and members of the front office every morning on Wisconsin's Morning News at 7:45. It's Brewers 360, presented by Holiday Automotive and Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What happens when you call your insurance company?
If you have water in your basement, press 1.
Most big companies have a recorded message or an app.
If you are in your living room and see sky when you look up, press 2.
But when something bad happens, you just want to talk to a person. On a day like that phone line can end up feeling like a lifeline. At a time like that, you want a company like West Bend, because the worst brings out our best.
If there is a tree in your bedroom, press 3.
Visit thesilverlining.com to find out more.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here. I love the Fox and Hounds restaurant. Absolutely incredible, and was recently voted the best supper club in the area. It first opened in 1933 and has been serving fabulous dinners for almost 90 years in their gorgeous rustic timber building. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week, even Friday and Saturday. Every Wednesday, when you buy one world-class prime rib dinner, your second prime rib dinner is free. Order anything on the menu, you got it. Your second dinner's free. Made from scratch desserts to incredible ice cream drinks. Add a Manhattan, an old-fashioned, or over 100 wines to accent your dinner. The Fox and Hounds is family-owned and one of the most unique and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin, and your second dinner is always free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east in the shadows of the beautiful Holy Hill Shrine. The summer drive is spectacular, a must-see. Enjoy a free prime rib dinner tonight or any entree. Tables are still open. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Lake Geneva. It's where families have been making memories around the water for generations. Lakeside resorts and spas, award-winning restaurants, and charming shops are just the beginning of an unforgettable summer getaway. Lake cruises, boating, and beach lounging let you soak up the sun, water, and family time. Hike a lakeshore path, stargaze from an iconic observatory, or soar above it all in a hot air balloon. Go ziplining, visit an animal safari, or see dancing horses. Start making your memories today at visitlakegeneva.com.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
All right, we got lots more to talk about with Bill and Joe. Bill McCosher, Republican strategist, Joe Zepecki, Democratic strategist, in the next half hour, our political power hour here on WTMJ. Before we get to that, 9:31 here at our Avenue Studios in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here is Debbie Lazaga.
Thanks, Steve. 5 children found in a minivan in Milwaukee that was involved in both a hit and run and police chase late Thursday night. Police say a 24-year-old woman was driving the silver minivan when she struck a man walking near 36th and Florist on the city's northwest side. She then led police on a chase until crashing into a vehicle near 35th and Silver Spring. Inside the van, police found 5 children ranging in age from 1-year-old to 10 years old. They say a 6-year-old boy was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The woman was arrested. Charges are pending. A couple in Lafayette County in southwest Wisconsin is facing dozens of charges in connection to the death of more than 200 goats on their property. Kyle and Stephanie Lincecum have each been charged with felony mistreatment of animals and 20 misdemeanor counts of failure to provide food and drink to confined animals. The Lafayette County Sheriff's Office alleges there was no hay or feed on the farm when they were called to the property earlier this month. Both are due in court next month. A $32 million budget cut to the UW system takes another step towards the governor's desk. The state's budget writing committee Thursday voting to cut funding by $32 million and to cut nearly 200 positions in an effort to eliminate diversity offices and programming on campuses. The cut comes at a time when Wisconsin has a record $7 billion surplus. Governor Evers has threatened to veto the GOP-backed state budget if the UW system cuts were involved. The state budget faces a July 1st deadline to pass. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Right now, the Dow is down 180 points to 33,766. The NASDAQ is down 128 to 13,501. And the S&P is down about 27 points to 43.54. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. That accident finally cleared on 43 southbound. It was located right about at Keith. We are still seeing delays working themselves out, though. So we're still seeing delays from before Bender Road all the way down through the Capitol Drive area. It doesn't really start to let up until you get past Burleigh. Northbound side is back to normal, though. Eastbound 94 is a bit backed up with some road work that they're doing right on the Hawley on and off ramps from eastbound 94, so just be prepared for a few delays there.
Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
And your WTMJ 5-day forecast today, hazy sunshine, warm with a high of 83 at the lake, 87 inland. Tonight, mainly clear, a low of 62. For tomorrow, it's mostly sunny, warmer, more humid, a high of 84 at the lake, 90 inland. For Sunday, chance of showers and storms, partly sunny and humid, otherwise a high of 78. And then on Monday, slight chance for showers, mostly cloudy and breezy, a high of 73. For Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 72. Right now in Appleton, it's 77 degrees. Mukwonago, 77. And Milwaukee, it's 72. I'm Debbie Lazaga, Sighting Unlimited WTMJ News Times, 9:34.
Breakthroughs aren't just for medical journals. They're to help people hold their grandbabies for the first time. Expertise isn't just for awards or recognition. It can be what gives people the best chance to walk again. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, people are the driving force behind everything we do. So we never lose sight of what's important. And we never forget who it's for. Because in the end, we're people helping people. That means every breakthrough, every clinical study, every interaction is to help people like you, your family, and your neighbors be the best they can be. We do everything humanly possible because we see everything humanly possible in you. To find out how compassion motivates world-class care, visit Froedtert.com.
Okay, so inventory, then suppliers, then staffing plan, overhead, and bookkeeping. Or suppliers first, then bookkeeping, inventory, overhead.
Running a small business can be full of distractions. U.S. Cellular wants to give small business owners one less thing to think about. 3 months of free service with 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot data.
Oh, that's nice.
Join the network that allows you and your business to focus on what really matters. Get 3 months of free service with 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot data. U.S. Cellular. Built for business, built for us. Terms and conditions apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Thrifters can spot great deals from a mile away. And here the term great deal is an understatement. The lowest prices on men's, women's, and children's clothing. Toys, furniture, housewares, jewelry, and accessories. Bikes, books, games, and more. And every time you're here, you'll find something new. So if you're thrifty, you'll find this place is pretty nifty. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores, Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
All right, producer Brandon has found his voice during the break. Good to hear that.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, maybe those 6 shots of espresso, whatever he's pounding down in the morning, have finally caught up to him. All right, we're joined in studio Political Power Hour by Joseph Heckey, Democratic strategist, Bill McCoshen on the Republican side. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
So, he's running a campaign.
Really?
And
What's he running for?
Yeah, President of the United States. And he's facing multiple indictments. We've already seen some action there. Future ones, future news, breaking news to follow. He went on Fox with Brett Baer, a two-part.
Yeah.
How do you view the ex-president?
How did it go?
How did
he do?
Well, listen, I don't think it helped him.
No, I don't think so.
In any manner.
No.
For those who missed it, he admitted to the crime, is essentially what he did.
He basically said I had documents, but I also had golf shirts in there and, personal letters and things like that. And I just didn't have time to go through those documents. I think Chris Christie did the best job as a former prosecutor, sort of pointing out how Trump may have hurt himself from a legal standpoint in that interview. But I think from a political standpoint, if you were watching that, you're saying, holy cow, this guy doesn't get it. I mean, he's still saying that he won, and he says by a lot in 2020. Well, listen, if you're a Trumper out there, I've promised I'm not going to go after you personally. I understand why you might support him, but there's a couple facts you got to remember. In the state of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, which is a hardcore conservative legal and policy think tank, and the nonpartisan Legislative Audit Bureau both did deep dives into the 2020 election in the state of Wisconsin and found no widespread fraud. There were some irregularities from town to town, that kind of thing, probably due to COVID. Sure. But none of what they found, either organization, a nonpartisan group and a right-wing group, would have turned the election towards Donald Trump in the state of Wisconsin. He still claims he won here. He did not win here. That's a reality. And I think the longer he says that, the more he says it, the louder he says it, the less likely it is he could ever win a general election.
Completely agree with everything you just said. That's right on.
Yeah.
Yet here we are. He's the leading candidate for Republicans.
Yeah.
And he just got more than half of the Republican members of Congress from the swing state of Pennsylvania are apparently going to endorse him today. So the elected leaders within the Republican Party refuse to see the reality that this man is a problem for the Republican Party. He is probably going to doom them to another defeat. I don't get it.
Could be worse. Not only a defeat for the White House, but we could lose the House.
Yeah.
Because some states are redrawing their lines probably to the benefit of Democrats based on a case that went through the Supreme Court last week.
Why can't they quit him?
I've quit him. I've voted for him twice. My wife's a donor to him.
Right.
I've quit him.
As someone who has, why
quit
can't
cold
the
turkey.
rest of them quit him?
That's a great question. I don't get it, Bill.
I think it has a lot more to do with the charisma and the bravado, right? The perception of a fighter. This guy's looking out for me. He has convinced a large segment of the Republican base that he's the only guy that will do those things. And in reality, I don't think the facts back that up or his record. He said he was going to drain the swamp. Let's put that at the top of the list. Number 2 probably would have been build a wall and have Mexico pay for it. Neither of those things happened, by the way. But on the drain the swamp thing, this Hunter Biden thing, which I think we're going to get to next, most of the cover-up in the FBI and the Department of Justice started under Trump's Justice Department, going back to 2017. So not only did he not drain the swamp
He made it swampier, yeah.
He made it swampier. So I can't get there with him. I think we have better options. I think the reason that some lawmakers in states like Pennsylvania are embracing him is they want to get to the end of the process so fast. Listen, Ron DeSantis' campaign has not been great over the first 2 months. I think we've said that many times on here. I want him to be better. I hope he can be better. If not, I hope someone else emerges. But let's not rush this process by, jumping in bed with a guy who can't win the general election, in my opinion.
There's always someone else from Florida willing to run for the Republican nomination for president. Last week it was the mayor of Miami.
Yeah.
This week maybe it's Rick Scott.
Remember when they said we weren't going to have more than, maybe 5, 6, 7 candidates? Now we're going to have like 15 again.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with sort of how slow DeSantis has gotten out of the gates. People are saying, okay, he was leading last December. Now he's 20 or 25, maybe even 35 points behind Trump. Maybe that means there's an opportunity for someone else. I don't think there is an opportunity for someone new. I think someone within this circle is going to have to emerge, or DeSantis is going to have to get better.
It sounds like the noose may be tightening, and I shouldn't use that term. It sounds like the pressure with other indictments may happen this summer for the former president.
Yeah, possibly, but all of that gets diminished by the sideshow that is the Hunter Biden investigation, right? So I think what's happening to Biden, Joe Biden in particular, is far more damaging than what's happening to Trump. Trump's base doesn't care.
You think that's baked in, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but the independents who are watching this Biden thing, remember, one of the reasons Hillary Clinton lost in 2016 was this underlying notion that there was corruption surrounding the Clinton Foundation, all of the Clinton dealings. Joe Biden's getting that same stink right now, and he's not going to be able to get it off him. And, we might as well bridge into Hunter Biden here, but I think the federal attorney or federal judge, Mary Ellen Noriega, who now has this case, this plea deal, after doing a little research this morning, it doesn't appear that she can reject the plea deal, but she can impose a prison sentence, and that's what she should do. She should show the American people there isn't a two-tier justice system and impose some prison time on Hunter Biden. If she wants people to think this was fair and above board, which it wasn't, and there's lots of records to prove that.
How can you say that? But you didn't go to law school. The guy who struck this deal with Hunter Biden is a Trump appointee who this investigation started in the last administration. And Merrick Garland, the current attorney general, said, you are making this call. No one is going to tell you what you can or cannot do. When the Trump prosecutor
the actions were
strikes the deal, how can you say it's a cover-up?
I think before Christmas, Merrick Garland will be before the House for impeachment charges.
Okay, that's a political act and exercise, as you know.
Yes.
You cannot say definitively, you don't know what the actions are. You're not an attorney. You don't see the evidence that these prosecutors
have. Did you read what the whistleblower put out yesterday?
Was this another one of the whistleblowers they can't find?
No,
this one they know. But here's my question, though.
The Trump prosecutor got to the bottom of it. This is what he decided.
Whatever this judge imposes, he's pled guilty. Is there more on top of this? Is there another chapter to this story?
What the judge has to make sure is that the investigation is not over, that this doesn't exonerate everything, right? So that these two cases, all of a sudden, nothing about Hunter Biden can be investigated, including any potential linkages his father may have to his business.
He was suggesting that. That's not how
the law doesn't work that way. If there's other things, they would be investigated.
We'll see.
It's more than 5 years to get to this point. Right, and in more than 5 years, this is what they found.
DOJ.
They found he didn't pay his taxes. By the way, it's Republicans who want to defund the IRS so they have no resources to make sure people pay their taxes. And they're getting him on a gun charge that if it were up to Republican discretion would never be prosecuted. And in fact, almost never is.
Black rappers have gone to prison for 3 years over the same exact gun charge.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. We're just getting warmed up, apparently, in this 45 minutes that we just knocked out. 2 more segments to go.
We want equal justice. That's all.
I think everybody does. But, politics infects everything, and it's hard to get to that ultimate goal. All right, gentlemen, quick break. WTMJ.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Hello, I'm Kelly Burris, an attorney with the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Here are a few quick divorce tips we provide our clients. Number 1, don't move out of your house just because your wife tells you to. Remember, that's your house too. Number 2, don't blow through the financial statements that you file with the court. These are key exhibits, and they often make or break your case. Number 3, watch the social networking. Expect your wife's lawyer to do a thorough online search. Incidentally, this is a two-way street. Now a bonus tip. Partner with your attorney in assembling evidence. You're one of the 2 leading experts on your life and marriage. Your attorney needs your input to achieve your goals. And finally, talk to your attorney before taking action. At Cordell & Cordell, we've been a partner men can count on for over 30 years. Schedule an appointment by calling 866-DADS-LAW or by visiting us at CordellCordell.com.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202.
Hey, parents and grandparents, with school out and summer here, you need a fun and safe outing for your kids and grandkids. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Treat them to the amazing Mineshaft restaurant, the most affordable summer vacation destination. I took my daughters there. They loved it. The Mineshaft has a $2 million game room with over 80 interactive games, including the Big Drop Ticket, Power Roll, and the easiest games for your little ones. And the kids will love the Mineshaft, especially your teenagers. Enjoy a huge 18-inch pizza, a pitcher of soda or beer, and 100 game room tokens for just $42.99. It's hours of fun and easily feeds a family of 4. It's big food, big fun with a kids menu that starts at $3.99. Have your kids' summer birthday party in the free party rooms. They even have your cake and no cooking or cleaning. Everybody wins. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. It's the perfect summer outing. Reserve now. Check it out. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage, available at Navage.com.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 8 ounce package selected varieties, Sargento Deli style sliced cheese, 2 for $6. 2-liter bottle selected varieties, Super Chill soft drinks, 99 cents. 24 to 70 count package selected varieties, Chinette classic white plates or bowls, $6.99. 10 to 10.8 ounce package selected varieties, Bird's Eye vegetables, 4 for $5.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take the mound at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Spending the Friday, as I always do, 9 o'clock hour with Bill and Joe. Bill McCoshen, Republican strategist Joseph Becky on the Democratic side. Gentlemen, let's do a fun one here before we get to grab bag after the next break. Favorite thing about Summerfest, Bill?
I like the side stages. I mentioned this group last week. I sadly couldn't think of their name. My wife knew it instantly. The band is called The Unexpected with an X in it. They're guys in their 50s and a lady. Started as a high school band in the Waukesha area way back when, and they bring it. They play next Friday night, June 30th, from 8 to 10 at the JoJo's stage. So we like the side stages. We don't necessarily do the big stage like you hoity-toities.
Go to one concert.
Big money.
But we like to people watch. There's no better place to people watch than Summerfest. I mean, they come in all sizes, shapes, colors. It's the dress they wear is
the hairstyles,
the tattoos. It's awesome, right? And the weather's been really, really good. It's expected to be good this weekend. Hopefully, it will be next weekend when we go. Listen, between the people watching and the side stage bands, there's a lot of fun to be had, and it's summer in Wisconsin.
Do you stick around late enough for the fireworks?
No.
When are the fireworks?
Well, I mean, last night they were at 9:30 or 10. They weren't real
we
late.
stayed till after 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So during the concert.
And I don't think they do them every night anymore.
They should, because they're 9 nights, right? They're Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 weekends in a row.
Are you still thrilled with fireworks? To me, it's like, I've seen fireworks before.
What? I love fireworks.
Really?
What is wrong with you?
They're all the same. They're all the same.
Wow. I was going to shout out, you were mentioning they're really expanding the food and drink offerings.
Oh, my goodness.
I have a tip for anyone going to the amphitheater. They now have a cocktail called the Central Standard Red Cabin Lemon Honey Bourbon Smash.
That's a lot.
Word of advice. That is not a drink. It is a drink for you and your friends. They literally serve it to you like in the shaker. They put some ice in there. It's got a lid. And then they give you a shot glass over the top. Do not drink that by yourself. Share it with your friends and neighbors, but boy, is it tasty.
What's the price tag on something like that?
It was $19.50.
That's not bad.
It's really not. I mean, it's like
I
11
paid
or 12
$11 for a thing of wine.
Yeah, no,
you pay $11.50 for beer at Miller Park.
Everybody in our row could have had a
Field,
shot.
sorry.
And, we said you couldn't talk about it, but you enjoyed the concert last night at church. Kickoff of Summerfest.
The acoustics are great. I mean, we've seen everybody from like Chris Stapleton to Tom Petty over the years. I mean,
it's the one concert I wish I would have gone to. Tom Petty.
Yeah, great artist.
I miss that. Yeah.
I enjoy, and I love all the music, and I'm like you, Bill. The side stages are amazing. I was walking around yesterday and just hearing these bands I'd never heard of playing incredible music.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talented people. I love getting something to nosh on and then just people watching.
Yeah.
It is the best. Just the goofiness that is Wisconsin.
Agreed.
I don't know where these people are coming from exactly, but the looks you see.
And they're updating it, and they're trying new things, which I like. I mean, I didn't know there's now like the Soundwave stage, which is sort of like electronica dance music. which is not my
They've
particular
taken all
cup
the
of
chairs
tea.
out.
Yeah, it's just a huge like dance thing, and I think if you want to get a younger crowd, you want to get more people out there. Sorry for anybody who was there late because I remembered after our church we didn't leave right away. I danced with my wife for a little while. I may have looked a little silly, but
Are you one of those crazy dancers like Elaine on Seinfeld? Arms are going in every direction.
We had a good time.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's the goal of Summerfest.
That is the goal of Summerfest.
And make some money. All right, we'll take a break. Grab Bag is next on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ. Everything you need to know on your way home.
A Milwaukee County Board supervisor was attacked at Mayfair Mall on Monday.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John McCure.
Paul Farrow, the Waukesha County executive, just texted me and said I'm a wuss.
Sandy Max.
Shadow was big on being a good citizen, being friendly, being kind, participating in our country's politics.
And Greg Matzik.
What the Brewers do at this year's trade deadline may speak volumes for how that front office views the team.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on WTMJ.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
So when you're in a pain spiral, will stem cells or bone marrow harvested from your body and then placed back into your body get you out of it? For those willing to go through a very expensive and not exactly easy process, which is not FDA approved, it might. But for those not willing to pay exorbitant amounts to go through all that, especially knowing that pain relief is not a sure thing, it's not an option. At Rejuvenex, we inject powerful, FDA-approved treatments that reduce inflammation and pain, while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees. With some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics, and we are in network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Get rid of nasty household chemicals properly. There's a free one-day collection at Cardinal Stritch this Saturday. Use the main entrance off Port Washington Road. Get all the details at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
There seem to be a lot of mergers and acquisitions in the insurance business. To share some knowledge about the impact, I'm talking with Jeff Salasinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Hi, Vince. Have you heard from your insurance agent recently? Did they take time to personally discuss your most recent renewal or the changes impacting your business? It may just be poor service, or it may be because they've been acquired or sold. The insurance market's too dynamic and too complex today to allow the uncertainty associated with mergers and acquisitions to put your business at risk. Being stable during uncertain times is a valuable asset. If 48 years of stability, local family ownership, and deep industry knowledge are important to you, you need to learn more about R&R Insurance.
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
As a business insurance top 100 agency, R&R Insurance will be focused on you, the client, and not the progress and payout of an acquisition. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show.
Final moments with Bill McCoshen, Public Strategist Joseph Becky, Democratic side of the aisle. Gentlemen, grab bag Joe first.
You got me, right?
There we go. Yeah, now we got it.
5 years ago today, Melissa and I had our wedding.
Oh,
very
congratulations.
nice.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
5 years are the easiest, the hardest,
I'd say the easiest.
Okay.
So you married up. You married up.
I know that. And one of the lifelong friends who spoke and made a toast to that wedding was gracious enough to forgive me on that day for forgetting it was also his birthday. And I vowed to never again forget that the day of our wedding and the day of his birthday are the same one. So a happy birthday to my friend who wants to remain nameless. What he said was, can you shout out loyal listener Grandma Sue in West Allis? She loves the show. She loves listening to you guys.
Wow.
So Grandma Sue.
Grandma
love
Sue.
from your grandson and from me.
Is that the dude you were in the picture with?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, do I know him?
Probably.
Yeah. Why? What's with the anonymity?
He's an important guy.
He is an important guy. Don't you want to be more important?
Happy birthday, buddy.
All right, happy birthday. And congratulations on your anniversary. I didn't know it was 5 years.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And you are having fun. Bill McCoshen, grab it.
So your wife used to have a baseball hat in her Twitter profile picture. Does she still? She wears a baseball hat better than you do. I'm just going to say that.
Does a lot better than I do.
I know your wife. I like your wife.
She's cuter than you, too.
She is. My shout out is to Bob Lang and his staff at the Legislative Fiscal Bureau. For the listeners that don't understand how the process works in Madison, Bob Lang is an institution. He's been around the Capitol for 40 years. Doesn't matter who the governor is. Doesn't matter which party's in control of the Senate or the Assembly. It doesn't matter who the co-chairmen of Joint Finance are. Bob Lang and his team make sure the numbers balance out. He makes sure whichever side is in the lead at that point in time gets what they want done in a manner that the state taxpayers can afford and is fiscally responsible. And the guy doesn't get enough credit for the work he does, but he's an institution in Madison, widely, maybe the most respected individual in Madison. So hat tip to Bob Lang and all the staff at the Legislative Fiscal Bureau.
Don't you love the people that do the real work?
Yeah.
And they don't he doesn't want the credit. They just do the work. They just show up every day, do the work. They don't care who's in charge or all the political nonsense and BS. They just do the work. I love that.
Bill, one of those Republicans who loves state employees. You love to see it. You'll love to see it.
I was one for 10 years.
Is that a rarity? Is that what you're saying?
Republicans embracing public workers?
Can't we all get along?
Republicans gave big increases to state employees yesterday.
They got a raise?
4% and 2%.
That's great.
How generous is that?
Right?
A part of the GOP budget I can agree with.
Where's all the
nice?
Where's all the hand wringing on that one? Remember the late at night child care tax credit story? I didn't even get to that one. Come on.
It's not great.
Pandemic funding. Now that's going to be. We have to defend pandemic funding.
No,
it has to
we
continue
don't.
forever.
We don't.
Come on.
No, we don't.
And we had a $7 billion surplus. If you are a parent with kids who need childcare, I would be a little nervous.
We are 2/3 of the way through the budget process. The final third is Governor Evers' vetoes. Let's see how it shakes out.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about next week, maybe?
No.
You're
2
going to be
weeks.
gone. Who's gone next week?
I'm around.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm around.
Maybe I'm gone. On that note,
happy weekend.
Yeah, happy weekend. Bill McCosh and Joseph Peck. We do it every Friday, Political Power Hour, right here on WTMJ. News is next.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Annex Wealth Management, investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
What's better than the look and feel of real leather? The amazing prices at Steinhafels.
Guardians is kind of a lame name for a baseball team, but it sure beats what you used to be called.
Come on back. Come here. Let's do that again.
The Brewers are in Cleveland with coverage starting today at 5:35. We are the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 10 o'clock, it is 73 degrees. Mostly sunny skies, though some of that sunshine will be overshadowed by some haze as some wildfire smoke moves into southeast Wisconsin from Canada. High today, about 87 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Mike Spalding. 5 children found in a minivan in Milwaukee, one that police say was involved in both a hit and run and police chase late Thursday night. Police say that a 24-year-old woman was driving the silver minivan when she struck a man who was walking near 36th and Florist. That's on Milwaukee's northwest side. Police say she then fled police in the chase until crashing into a vehicle near 35th and Silver Spring. Inside that van, police found 5 children ranging in age from 1-year-old to 10 years old. They say that a 6-year-old boy was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The man who was struck while walking is listed in serious condition. A former longtime Stars and Stripes Honor Flight volunteer now accused of stealing from that organization.
Prosecutors say over the course of several years, Joni Nagay, the former volunteer, took in more than $100,000 worth of donations on behalf of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. The organization received just a fraction of that. Negay used the money, according to prosecutors, for spa treatments, doctor's appointments, shopping on Amazon and at Walmart, and other high-end personal items. If convicted, she could face 10 years in prison. John Mercure, WTMJ News.
The search for a missing sub in the North Atlantic is now a recovery mission after a tragic ending revealed on Thursday. The U.S. Coast Guard saying a catastrophic implosion of the sub destroyed it and took the lives of 5 people on board. The Navy says that some of the audio that their sonars picked up earlier this week was likely that sub imploding. The Navy says that an investigation on the federal level is already underway. The search and rescue efforts in the Atlantic, meanwhile, calling some attention to the hundreds of rescue operations conducted by the U.S. Coast Guard every year here on the Great Lakes. TMJ4's Ben Jordan.
Bradley Derflinger with the U.S. Coast Guard's Lake Michigan sector is thinking of his colleagues called to a mission that ended in devastation.
It takes a toll on the rescuers.
The U.S. Coast Guard Lake Michigan sector responds to around 800 search and rescue missions each year.
I've had days where we've had like 29 lives assisted.
Bradley says most of their calls are for distressed boaters or swimmers. Bradley says several factors can complicate rescue missions, from weather conditions and strong currents to darkness at night.
Bradley says the best way to stay safe on the water is to make sure your boat has enough life jackets for everybody on board. A $32 million budget cut to the UW system, taking another step towards the governor's desk this week. The state's budget writing committee Thursday voting to cut funding by $32 million to the system campuses statewide. It would also eliminate roughly 200 positions. This is in an effort to eliminate diversity offices and programming on campuses. The cut comes at a time when Wisconsin has a record $7 billion surplus. Governor Tony Evers threatening to veto the Republican-backed state budget proposal if those UW cuts are involved. The state budget does face a July 1st deadline in order to pass. Sports, traffic, weather next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 10:03.
Lake Geneva. It's where families have been making memories around the water for generations. Lakeside resorts and spas, award-winning restaurants, and charming shops are just the beginning of an unforgettable summer getaway. Lake cruises, boating, and beach lounging let you soak up the sun, water, and family time. Hike a lakeshore path, stargaze from an iconic observatory, or soar above it all in a hot air balloon. Go ziplining, visit an animal safari, or see dancing horses. Start making your memories today at visitlakegeneva.com.
When you see our selection of gently worn brand name girls and women's clothing, you'll love what you find, and you'll love the prices, so low that you won't believe your eyes. At St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll find something cute, maybe a whole new outfit for so much less. Gently worn brand name clothing at far below retail. You're gonna love it. On Highway 100 at Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
CPAP is one option that can be used to keep the throat open at night. It can work. There are other ways of keeping that airway open other than the machine. Another option that most people have never heard of is an oral appliance. An oral appliance is like a retainer that you wear when you're sleeping at night. It's super slim, slides in your mouth, and what it does is it helps to keep your airway open. That's exactly what a CPAP machine does. Most people who are good candidates for a CPAP machine to treat their sleep apnea are also good candidates for an oral appliance. Most of those people never get offered an oral appliance. Advent has decided to change the practice of medicine in this country by offering oral appliances to our patients. And what that means is we are allowing our patients to have the choice of a CPAP machine oral appliance when they have sleep apnea, and that's a big deal.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventNows.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update.
The Milwaukee Bucks officially began their new era under head coach Adrian Griffin on Thursday night. Milwaukee entering the night with just one selection, number 58th overall, but moved up to number 36 in a trade with Orlando as the Magic received the Bucks' 2030 second-round pick as well as cash considerations. With that selection, the Bucks picking UConn guard Andre Jackson Jr., but that wasn't it for the Bucks as they also picked up Chris Livingston out of Kentucky with the 58th overall selection. From the NBA to baseball, as the Milwaukee Brewers will begin a 10-game road trip that begins tonight in Cleveland to take on the Guardians. Coverage of that game gets underway right here on WTMJ beginning at 5:35. Wade Miley expected to get the start for the Brew Crew. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads in your Johnson & Sons paving, time save for traffic. Things are looking pretty good out there this morning. Bit of a slowdown southbound 43 between Brown Deer Road and downtown Milwaukee. That is a 17-minute commute. Slowdown there of about 7 minutes. No major incidents, just some road work happening just north of Capitol Drive, slowing things down. Once you get south of Capitol, though, things are moving right along.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly sunny skies. Some haze moving in, though. Some smoke from Canada, those wildfires moving into southeast Wisconsin. Beautiful day, though, high of 87 degrees. Overnight tonight, mostly clear skies, a low 62. Tomorrow, sunny, a bit warmer, a bit more humid as well, a high 90 degrees. Sunday, mostly cloudy, rainy, a high 78. Monday, chance of some showers, mostly cloudy otherwise, a high 73. Tuesday, sunny, a high of 72 degrees. In Madison right now, it is 80 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 79. Waukesha, 74. Milwaukee, 75 degrees. I'm Mike Spalding, Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:07.
Breaking down the biggest stories, talking about what really matters, and bringing you the biggest forum to let your voice be heard. Now, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, here's Steve Scaffidi.
And welcome, 10 o'clock hour on this Friday edition. Good to be here after a couple days off. Sitting in the chair opposite me is the host, the star of the Wisconsin Afternoon News program, John McCure. Hi, John.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah.
I'm on the big show. I'm on the Steve Scaffidi show.
You know,
I made it.
They don't let me say the big show.
Well, I'll say it for you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm on the big show,
And
the
we
Scaffidi
have
show.
some studio guests, so hi to all of you as you listen and to what we're going to talk about. So I was on Summerfest grounds yesterday, and I know you're broadcasting live in the afternoon, and I saw you talking to a TV guy, and I go, "What's this about?" I walk up, you tell me.
Terrible story with Stars and Stripes Honor Flight that everybody's covering, and we broke yesterday. Unfortunate story, but an important story for our community because Stars and Stripes Honor Flight flies veterans, of course, to Washington, D.C., and the community has been behind this for more than 10 years. And a former volunteer, according to prosecutors, stole almost $100,000 from the organization by holding events like 5Ks. I'm raising money for Honor Flight, and then not giving the organization any of the money.
So I assume this has never happened before.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
So how was this detected?
So this is a former volunteer who we're all familiar with. So we all know this Joni Nugay in the organization. She stopped volunteering a few years ago, said, you know what? I'm going to instead start my own nonprofit, and I'm going to raise money for Honor Flight. I'm going to do 5Ks. I'm going to solicit in the community. So she went off and did her own thing, occasionally gave us a little bit of money, us meaning the organization. And it became clear when we looked at her social media that she was holding up pictures of big fake checks.
I saw that.
For Honor Flight. And we said, we're not getting any of that money. So we tried to resolve it with her. We reached out to her. And she said, I'm going to get it to you, or I haven't gotten my checks yet, or whatever. Well, this continued for a period of time, and Honor Flight is such good stewards of all the money that's raised on our behalf that finally we said, we got to get the authorities involved. And so as soon as we knew definitively that we weren't getting the money that she had raised, we reached out to police, and then, it's a long process. They investigated, but that's how we became aware of it. They got involved. And that's where we are today with a 26-page criminal complaint. I mean, this is
you're
serious.
holding up in the studio here. So a couple questions. So you became aware of it.
Yep.
Did you report it to police, or were they already aware of it?
No, we reported it to police. Police were not aware of it. We reported it to police right as our accountants became aware that something weird was going on, and then they took it from there.
I've heard stories like this before, unrelated to Honor Flight or any or other organizations that I'm a part of, but where people do these things. They're almost like independent contractors. They say they're doing something for an organization. They're doing the opposite.
Yep.
How
That's
widespread do you think this is?
I think probably more than we know, unfortunately.
Especially
because,
for something like this.
And if you're a big organization like Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, with lots of money and a high profile in the community, you have a lot of people that come forward and say they want to help you. And not all those people have the purest intentions. I think it happens not with Honor Flight, but in general, to your point, in our community, more than we know, because it's hard to keep track of it, and there's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, who aren't great people.
So I always looking for an opportunity here or a positive. So your organization You detected this. What can you teach other organizations about situations like this? Because it's all happening all around us all the time.
Ask a lot of questions. Be really protective of your brand. And we are protective of our brand, but double check, triple check, button it down. Ask a lot of questions about the intentions of the people that say they want to work for you. Because everybody says, well, I'm going to raise money for you. She raised, Steve, more than $100,000, and it ends up, according to prosecutors, she spent it on spa treatments. She spent it on high-end clothing. She spent $600 at a chiropractor, $2,500 at an organization called Moms in Heels, which is entrepreneur school for moms. She spent lots and lots and lots of money that people donated to fly veterans.
That's the thing that gets me, and I heard you yesterday when you broke the story on your show. Sad, disappointed, angry.
Yeah.
Those all apply because you are having been a guardian, having been on an honor flight. There's nothing better, and it's a chance. My vet, who's no longer with us, got a chance to see those monuments before he died. He got to touch the wall, new names on the wall, and to take that away from how many? Let's say it's 80,000 that she absconded with.
Yeah,
how many vets is that?
Hundreds, several hundred veterans. And I wanted, as I was preparing to come on your show, I wanted to ask you that because you have been on an honor flight.
Yeah.
Yesterday, part of our show, we opened up the phone lines and heard from people who have. What's your reaction when you hear you were on an honor flight? You experienced it.
That pisses me off. I don't
me
know.
too.
You're taking an opportunity for these individuals who put their lives on the line because you want to go get a spa treatment or sign up for some stupid class when you said you're going to donate so that hundreds, your words, of men and women, right?
Yep.
Go to Washington and see something that is amazing. I've been to Washington, D.C. 100 times. Every time I go, I see the monuments. I had the opportunity to take my wife, who had never been there. She was blown away. And you're giving those folks who put their lives on the line an opportunity to see that up close and personal. And in the case of my vet, see the names of the people that he served with and lost their lives.
Yep. I was just on an honor flight. There was just an honor flight.
Yeah, last weekend,
your producer,
right?
Brandon,
yes,
was helping us at the airport. He volunteered. These men and women wore the flag on their shoulder. They didn't just talk about the flag. They wore it. They have their names on chains around their neck as they tromped through trenches in battle. And to take them to see their monuments like you did with your veteran is the sole mission of Honor Flight, to celebrate them, to let them know that we care and we don't take it for granted. And for someone to take advantage of the good name of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight is just atrocious. I mean, it's awful.
I know you keep us posted on this. There'll be a court date at some point, and I know you'll keep us up to date on the story. Thanks for the reporting here, but also for sharing, what I love about the Honor Flight. It's just a tremendous organization. Your directors, all the volunteers, you do it so well.
Hey, I appreciate that. You've been seeing it firsthand, so that means a lot. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, buddy.
You got it. Thanks,
right,
Steve.
Quick break here. We're going to be joined by C.J. Safer on the Republican tax cut. What that means, what that looks like after this on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ. Couldn't make it to the game?
Here, try this.
If you live in Milwaukee, Racine, Waukesha, Ozaukee, or Washington County,
Get up! Get up! Get out of here and go!
You can stream Bob Uecker and the Brewers on your phone, tablet, or computer.
Struck him out looking.
Using the WTMJ app or at WTMJ.com.
A little different from when you played, Ueck. Yeah, those big old payphones we had. Ah, man.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi here for Heiser Automotive. I love working with Heiser. Love the vehicles I get the honor and privilege to drive. Right now, I want to try the pre-owned. See what it's like. Experience it like you would. A 2021 Lincoln Corsair. Beautiful ride, by the way. The smoothest ride. We know Lincoln has that reputation. But great gas mileage, 28 miles on the highway, 21 city. Here's what they do when you buy pre-owned. 6-year, 100,000-mile comprehensive warranty coverage. 200 points of inspection. Make sure that what you're getting, what you're buying, is going to work for you. Vehicle history report. 24-hour roadside assistance. Oh, and by the way, they throw in a full tank, I should say, of fuel, fresh oil, new wiper blades. What else? No hidden market adjustment fees. And they always, always, always price under MSRP. They have their Safe and Sound program. Check it all out at Heiser.com. Find out for yourself. Go to one of their 5 great locations. Tell them Scaffidi sent you. That's why they say every day, today is your day.
A wiser way to build your wealth.
A wiser way to build your wealth starts with choosing a financial planning firm that is fee only.
Because it means they work for you. Fee-only firms like Financial Strategies, Inc. don't work for a bank or brokerage firm or an insurance company or mutual fund company because we don't want our decisions for your best interest compromised in any way. We work for you and only in your best interest. And fee-only means the success we care about most is yours. Ask your advisor, are you 100% fee-only for 100% of your clients 100% of the time? If they answer no, get a second opinion. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm. And I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Thanks for tuning in on this Friday edition. Talk some politics in the first hour. We also mentioned briefly the Republican proposal tax cut built into this budget, cooked into the cake or pie, whatever term you want to use. Joining me on the phone line, the president of the Institute for Reforming Government, C.J. Safer, who is really good at breaking down these big concepts. In this case, a plan to cut income taxes by 15% on average in the state of Wisconsin. Welcome, C.J.
Steve, happy Friday. How are we doing?
I am doing great on this Friday. So give us your sense of what this means for Wisconsin taxpayers and residents, if the governor accepts it.
Well, this is a plan that so many of us have been waiting for. It's like that final linchpin of the state budget, a process that really has been going on since January, and we're finally here. As you and I have discussed for probably about a year, Wisconsin has an unprecedented state surplus, which means that the state government has collected $7 billion more than what it spent. So naturally, a lot of us have called on for really, really big tax cuts. And, we've talked about getting rid of the income tax. We've talked about a flat tax. But the reality in a divided government is not everybody gets what they want. So yesterday, what the Republicans put out yesterday afternoon is what I think is a very common sense but bold tax plan. It's a total $4.5 billion tax cut plan, $3.5 billion just in income tax cuts alone. That would make it one of the biggest income tax cuts in decades. I mean, maybe ever, but I have not kind of gone through the entire history of tax cuts. But it is a very major tax cut. It impacts every single group, every single earner. They go after the top rate, which we should discuss. They decrease the top rate from 7.6 to 6.5.
It also drops from four to three brackets, correct?
4 to 3 brackets, which in our opinion, more simple is better. It also gets us closer to, I think, to what a more efficient and more equal tax plan. So we were very much in favor of it. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the energy and the tension is going to be focused on the top rates. And I think this is something that the Democrats have already started to critique. I think it's a mistake.
Governor came out with some strong words, believes that if we deliver, this is his exact quote, if we deliver tax relief, it should be real, responsible, and targeted to the middle class. I would argue, okay, so where are you defining the middle class? I had this conversation away from the show last night. It shouldn't be unexpected or breaking news that the people who pay the most taxes are going to have the most benefit. Or am I missing something?
Yeah, breaking news. Yeah, right. No, look, I mean, I would even first thing take it a step back, right? So this under the Republican tax plan, those that are making $13,000 a year to $300,000 a year will receive a 17% cut in their taxes. So that is, I mean, so we are, I mean, even broadly defining the middle class by collapsing it into that one bracket. A lot of people across the state are going to receive what I would say a significant tax cut. Now, when you look at the people that are in the top rate, those that are making over $300,000, they're going to receive, again, the rate's going to go down by about 1.2%. But that's a really big deal. But that's really important. One, for the reason that this is tax relief for job creators, but also 9 of 10 small businesses in Wisconsin pay the top individual income tax rate. 9 of every 10 small businesses in Wisconsin pay that top rate. That's barbershops, that's startups in tech, that's restaurants, that's coffee shops. I mean, really, the strength, the backbone of the small town economies, the backbone of really like the state is these small businesses. They get immediate tax relief that they need, so then they can go back, they can increase wages, they could expand, they could lower prices. But really, we're just putting money back into their pockets so then they can decide what to do with it. I think that's something that I think the Democrats that are so quick to criticize that, I don't think fully appreciate really the breadth of who would be receiving tax relief here.
CJ Safer joining us, president of the Institute for Reforming Government. So now it's in Governor Evers' hands. What do we expect he will do with it?
So if you think back, February, Governor Evers rolled out his budget. So this process has been going on for 6 or 7 months. Evers' budget had a huge mix of middle class tax cuts and tax increases, especially on manufacturers. As we discussed, the Wisconsin legislature got rid of that. They introduced the plan yesterday, which I think quadruples the Evers tax cut. So now this entire plan, it left Joint Finance last night. There's going to be scoring and debates about the Republican tax plan in the legislature next week. Hopefully it'll pass the Assembly and the Senate probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks. I think the goal is still to get this all done and wrapped up by 4th of July. It'll go to Governor Evers' desk, assuming it's passed, and Governor Evers will have 10 days to decide whether to sign it, to veto it, or to partial veto it. And look, I mean, we already came out, IRG Action, our issue advocacy partner, we came out, we're doing a petition drive aimed at working class families across the state, telling both Republicans and Democrats to call Governor Evers and tell him to sign it. I think this is something that in divided government, it's not elimination of the income tax, which is what we advocate for, but I think this is also a common sense, middle of the road plan that benefits every single Wisconsinite across the state. And I think there's no reason that this shouldn't get bipartisan support.
I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. If the average reduction is 15%, that means about $573 per filer. That's pretty significant money coming back. And oh, by the way, it's retroactive to the beginning of this year. So you'll have the entire year of benefit.
Right, and the numbers will continue to be crunched. You're going to see some things from Fiscal Bureau. You'll see some things from the economists at University of Wisconsin Crow. But right now, they're saying that the average Wisconsin taxpayer will save $573 under this plan, which again is quadruple the relief that Evers proposed. And I think that it would be incumbent on Evers to take the win here, do what he did 2 years ago, and hold hands and say, he can obviously he'll then take credit for it. But I think this is something that is for the good of the state. This is real money. I mean, look, we're still coming out of COVID. We're still coming off of the fiscal and economic impacts from all the shutdowns. We have significant worker shortage issues. We have inflation, and, we still potentially could be looking at a looming recession in the not so distant future. I think this is a plan that really the state needs, and, I'd love to see him hurry up and pass it in a bipartisan fashion.
Well, as they say, we shall see what happens. CJ Safer, president of the Institute for Reforming Government and an advocate for just a complete redo of how we tax people in the state of Wisconsin. This is a good step, I think. We'll see what the governor does. Thank you, CJ.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll take a break here. Lots more to get to. Don't forget, we got virtual baseball coming up, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. That's at 10:35. Steve Rode the World. We can review. Feels good to be back in the chair after a couple days off. Did you miss me? I hope so. Quick break.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ. Are you ready to step up to the plate and test your skills?
Hey,
Join Steve every Friday at 10:35 for a rousing round of virtual baseball to win awesome prizes.
Oh, baby.
Steve Scaffidi's Virtual Baseball, presented by Siding Unlimited.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Every Friday at 10:35.
Vince Vitrano here for my new friends at 911 Heating and Air. You're looking for a local AC company that provides affordable, transparent pricing with exceptional service and warranties you can trust. It's owner Alex Peterson. He provides and delivers old school business practices. All pricing listed on their website. No surprises. 10-year warranty on new units. AC overhauls. Any age unit includes all new parts and services. A 2-year ice cold guarantee for $2,500. Visit 911heatusa.com.
In Wisconsin, our festivals and events are in full swing all summer long. Here's to seeing legendary golfers at the U.S. Senior Open Championship in Stevens Point, to joining thousands of your closest music-loving friends at Summerfest in Milwaukee, and to wondering, where art thou, Romeo, at the Wisconsin Shakespeare Festival premiere this summer in Eau Claire. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Find more summer events at travelwisconsin.com.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
All right, got a lot more fun to have in the next hour and a half before we hand it off to Jeff Wagner. Comes in at noon, like he does every day, Monday through Friday here on WTMJ. We are broadcasting live from the Avenue Studios on Wisconsin Avenue, beautiful downtown Milwaukee. I need 2 callers. 855-616-1620, the old National Bank talk and text line. Also, your way to get into the action, baseball action that is, of the virtual variety. Something we call virtual baseball, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. That's coming up at 10:35. And the winner can be eligible for the June drawing, which is rapidly running out. We're now in the days are getting shorter. Isn't that crazy? So you can get into the June drawing for a $500 gift card thanks to Siding Unlimited. So heat up those phone lines. I see the green popping up on my phone screen. That's all coming up in the next half hour. It is 10:30 from our Breaking News Center. Mike Spalding.
Thank you, Steve. 5 children found in a van that was involved in a high-speed chase and a hit-and-run overnight in Milwaukee. Police there say that the kids ranged in age from 1 to 10. A 24-year-old woman driving the van was arrested. Authorities still hunting for the reason that a submersible carrying 5 people to the wreck of the Titanic this week imploded deep in the North Atlantic. The U.S. Coast Guard says that investigation into what happened was already underway and will continue around the debris site. The announcement that no one survived brought an end to the 5-day saga on Thursday. Steve, you may notice it's sunny outside, but a little bit hazy. That's because those wildfires and the smoke resulting from them have made their way from Canada to southeast Wisconsin. Your Storm Team 4 meteorologist, Brendan Johnson.
Really a nice start to the day, but that air quality advisory we're talking to you about, it is still in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. Poor air quality at times. Moving to that orange category, the unhealthy for sensitive groups. This morning, a little bit of that wildfire smoke seems to have made it to the surface in some spots. Most of it, though, staying elevated today.
And if you're making your way down to Summerfest, in addition to the haze, you'll also notice some warm temperatures. Things getting up into the mid-80s by lunchtime. We'll have your full 5-day forecast coming up in just a moment. Right now, though, time for some news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow down 192 at 33,752. The NASDAQ down 163.5 at 13,467. The S&P 500 down 34.5 points at 4347. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Taking a quick look at your roads, Johnson & Sons Paving, time saver traffic. Things are looking pretty good across the system. Maybe slowing down just a bit southbound 43 between Brown Deer Road and downtown Milwaukee. Right now, it's a 15-minute commute, a slowdown there of about 4 minutes. On the northbound side from downtown up to Brown Deer, that'll take you about 15. Everywhere else, though, things are looking good.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlawn's Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlawns.com when you're due for service.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly sunny skies, hazy, however, this afternoon, warm, a high of 87. Overnight tonight, mainly clear skies, low 62 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny skies, a bit warmer, a bit more humid as well, a high of 90. Sunday, chance of showers and storms, a high 78. Monday, mostly cloudy skies, rainy, a high 73. Tuesday, sunny skies, a high of 72 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, it is 76. I'm Mike Spalding, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Times, 1033.
This week at Macy's, summer is in full swing, so save on fresh updates with your coupon or Macy's card. With an extra 20% off when you shop online or an extra 15% off in store. That's on top of great prices on shorts, tees, swim, even outdoor toys and games. Plus, get 40 to 50% off during our great sandal sale. Macy's Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase, except gift card services and fees. Learn more at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Turn your home into restricted airspace. Tell incoming flights you want them diverted. The new Raid Essentials Light Trap plugs into the wall and uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. Its 24/7 continuous attraction provides insecticide-free protection that's people and pet friendly. Consider air service interrupted. New Raid Essentials Light Trap. Insecticide-free protection.
Life is just getting started at 3 Pillars, Wisconsin's top-rated continuing care retirement community. Located on 300 beautiful Lake Country acres, 3 Pillars is taking reservations for new high-end active adult residences. With 4 styles to choose from and amenities like a supper club, fitness center, spa, pub, dog park, trails, and gardens galore. The choice is easy as you start your next adventure. Learn more at 3pillars.org.
You're gonna love it all when you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
The grass is cut, the hot dogs are hot, and the beer is ice cold.
Right and deep. Oh, baby, get up!
It's time for virtual baseball on the Steve Scaffidi Show. Brought to you by Siding Unlimited.
All right, the weather's fantastic. The field is cut. Our players are all queuing up around home plate. Let's meet our players first, then we'll see what the ground rules are. Teresa joins us from Heartland. Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
How are you on this Friday?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. So tell us about Teresa from Heartland quickly in 30 seconds or less.
Love to travel, love sports, and loving life. How's that?
Those are 3 really good ones. I share all of those with you. So let's find out who you're playing today. His name is Tony. He's from Fond du Lac. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
I'm good today.
All right, tell me the Tony from Fond du Lac story.
Oh, Tony from Fond du Lac, happy with 3 kids, a couple grandsons.
There you go.
I work for Redbox as a service tech. and I got a really nice girlfriend, so I'm doing good.
Give me her first. Let's give her a shout out. What's her first name?
Becky.
Becky. Hi, Becky. Good luck to Tony. Good luck to Teresa. Let's assemble around home plate as we hear the ground rules from our illustrious producer, Brandon Snide. Go. Take it away, Brandon.
All right. Welcome in, you two. We got two players, of course. You just heard from Teresa from Heartland. She's going to be serving as our home team. And Tony, as you just heard, he is going to be serving as our visiting team. Each of them will get a separate set of 10 highlights. Each set includes an equal number of hits, and you guessed it, an equal number of outs. They are all numbered 1 through 10. Each of you get 5 selections. After those 5 selections, we only record the hit in the highlight, not the runs scored in the highlight. After those 5 swings, the number of runs tallied up becomes your final score. And if there is a tie, there seems to be a trend this year with ties. The home team, in this case, Teresa, will try to walk it off. She is the first caller. She is the home team.
All right, and thanks to Siding Unlimited, there's an opportunity to get it into the June drawing for a $500 gift card as well as a WTMJ prize package. All right, Tony, you're the away team. You will bat first. You heard Brandon lay it out for you. 10 possible choices. You can only make 5. What's your first choice?
Number 1.
Ooh, number 1, we have Luis Urias.
1-1 pitch. Ground ball off the glove of Ortiz near the middle. Bay has it, throws the first in time.
Robbed him of a base hit.
Yeah, hit the ball hard on that one, but unfortunately it is an out. Tony, 4 more chances. Number 2. Pick number 2.
Number 10.
Number 10, we have Christian Yelich.
2-1 pitch, ground ball right back to Matzik. He's going to throw to second for 1, back to first in time. Long's going to score from third. It's 9-2.
Not the best start.
Tony, that's a proverbial, hard for me to say, easy for me to say, rough start. Apparently Greg Matzik playing second base there. All right, so Tony, you got 3 more at-bats. You've already got rid of 2 outs. Don't get the third one. Let's score some runs.
How about number 3?
Number 3, we have William Contreras.
2-0. Line to right, and it is going to be a base hit and get by the right fielder. Contreras is on the move.
Come on.
He's at second. He's not stopping. He's headed for third. He's in with a triple.
In there.
There we go. All-important base
Moving
runner.
for a catcher.
Man on the corner. 2 more at-bats. Let's get that guy in. Let's score some more runs, Tony. What's your 4th pick?
Number 7.
Number 7, we have Bryce Terrain.
Here it is. Bouncer back up the middle and played nicely by Edman, and he threw him out.
Man.
So the lead-off double.
Tony. Tony scored 0 runs. Has that happened?
He's got 1 more, I believe.
No, that's 3 outs.
Was it?
First 2 are out, yeah. That's it. Well, we're going to get 1 more choice. Score that run, buddy. Come on. What's your last pick?
Let's go with number 5.
Number 5, Ramiro Tapia.
And the pitch. Hit to right center. Deep.
There you go.
Warning crack off the wall and gone.
There you go.
All right, so the great benefit of playing this game is it's not the outs, it's the at-bats. He had 5 at-bats. He scored 2 runs. All right, so Tony, you redeemed yourself a little bit there. We'll see what Teresa has up her sleeve and on her bat. Teresa, you have 10 possible selections, 5 at-bats. Got to get 2 to tie, 3 to walk them off. What's your first pick?
Number 2.
Number 2, Jesse Winker.
3-2 pitch. Fly ball deep center field. Thomas going back at the track. It is gone.
Teresa's not wasting any time. 1 run on the board. All right, Teresa, so you scored 1. You got 4 at-bats left. What is your next choice?
Number 3.
Number 3, Bryce Terrain.
Here it is. Bouncer back up the middle and played nicely by Edman, and he threw him out.
All
the leadoff double. Stranded.
Still 1 on the board. 3 at-bats left. Got to get to 2. 3 walks him off. Walks off Tony. What's your third choice?
Number 6.
Number 6, Christian Yelich.
3-1, line back up the middle and into center field. Weimer streaking around third. He's going to score. Perkins on his way to third. It's an RBI single for Yelich, and it's 3-1 Brewers.
All right, we got a base runner. 2 at-bats left. Still trailing 2-1 to Tony.
Couple outs on the board. Got a couple home runs, though, too.
Yeah, so you got opportunity there. And with adversity creates. I'm all over the. See, that's what taking a day off.
It's like your Monday, but it's Friday.
Yeah, I'm mixing everything up. All right.
One night at Summerfest.
Teresa's sharpest attack. She's gonna do this. Teresa, what's your fourth pick?
Number 9.
Number 9, Andrew Monasterio.
1-0. High fly ball, deep center field. Benson retreating back onto the warning track at the wall. Oh! It'll fly.
He just walked
the ball just kept carrying for Andrew Monasterio.
2-run homer. That means Teresa beats Tony 3-2. Tony, thanks for playing virtual baseball. Sponsored by Siding Unlimited.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, you and Becky have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Teresa, you just won virtual baseball WTMJ prize package on its way and a chance to win a $500 gift card thanks to Siding Unlimited. How you feeling right now?
Woo-hoo, thank you.
All right, stay in the line. Producer Brandon will get all your important information. Just more fun with baseball, the virtual variety right here on WTMJ. Take us to break, Brandon.
Next time I try tofu, I'm taking the wrapper off. Darn it. Anyway, we're back with you again.
Rose Gray here from Fox World Travel. I'm often asked, when is the best time to book all-inclusive winter getaways? Well, my friends, it is in summer. Do yourself a favor and get your vacation on the calendar now. And guess what? This July, Fox World Travel is once again partnering with Apple Vacations for the nation's largest exclusive early booking sale. We'll have exclusive resort deals you won't find anywhere else and the nonstop flights to get you to Mexico and the Caribbean. Our expert advisors save you time. The sale saves you money. Plus the best price guarantee and cancel for any reason insurance. Why not check the box and get your vacation on the calendar? Call a travel advisor now to get on the list before the sale starts. In anticipation of our upcoming sale, Fox World Travel and Apple Vacations are giving away a trip for 2 to Dreams Riviera Cancun Resort and Spa. Boy, is it incredible. Visit foxworldtravel.com and enter for a chance to win by June 30th. Visit foxworldtravel.com. Good luck.
I'm certified financial planner Tony Drake with Drake & Associates. If you're retired or looking to retire soon, have you developed a strategy to minimize or eliminate the taxes when you start pulling money out of your IRA or 401k? If you haven't, then you have a very vulnerable plan because taxes are going up in the future. And if you look at the spending our government does, taxes could rise even more. Find out what's missing in your retirement strategy by requesting a copy of my Retirement Ready Toolkit that's loaded with materials designed to help protect you from taxes. Call or text TAX to 414-409-9982. That's calling or texting TAX to 414-409-9982 to get your free toolkit today.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
We are not called to a life of peace on every side, but to a life of witness, a life of bearing crosses. For some, it will be one great sacrifice. For most of us, we'll give our lives away for others a little bit at a time. Tears, fire, and a song. This is who we are.
Dr. Dean Nattasdy, this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
You are a guaranteed winner with Siding Unlimited, Wisconsin's best contractor for your home's beauty and defense. Siding Unlimited is siding, of course, but so much more. Windows, roofing, decks. Siding Unlimited is recognized as the MVP in all those areas by customers and suppliers alike. You want major league work done on your house, so start by contacting Siding Unlimited. SidingUnlimited.com.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Congrats to Teresa. She was our winner on Virtual Baseball. I do it every Friday, 10:35. Thanks to Signing Unlimited, our great presenters, sponsors. And I'm serious. Every month, a drawing to win a $500 gift card thanks to Signing Unlimited. So, and it's funny because I just had this conversation. I was talking to somebody, and they just had new siding put on their house. And it's one of our partners here at WTMJ. The Tihan's Nursery, which is where I get all my plants. Great local business. Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. And they got new siding. Oh, where'd you get it? I saw him at an event on Saturday. He goes, oh, Siding Unlimited. And I go, I love the partner-to-partner love you got going on there. Hopefully Siding Unlimited goes to Tihan's and gets their plants. They're beautiful hanging baskets. And they're beautiful, gorgeous tomato plants. And I was asking Tim and Sharon, his wife, lovely wife, about their San Marzano plants. And he told me that since we started talking about them, they're selling a lot of these things. And he was basically down to like 0.03 of what he had left that when he started. And I walked in at like the first week, second week maybe, and everything's, plush and gorgeous. His baskets are some of the best I've ever seen. And now there's just basically a few things left, and that's it. Then they do their outside stuff, plant all their outside crop, and then we'll sell those at some point. But it's such a process. And the interesting thing for me was anybody has a nursery knows or been to a nursery knows they have these massive greenhouses. So, and I've talked about this on the show, I am going from a very large garden, which is doing very well. Somebody asked about it on the text line earlier. Yeah, it's doing fantastic. We're back to hauling water again because it's not raining, so that part's not fun. But everything is growing tremendously. We've got the start of a bunch of little tomatoes, my cabbage plants, Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi. My potatoes are almost a foot high already, the plants. I love this. But it all starts with the greenhouse for me because I don't grow my own plants from seed. I go to Tihan's and they present me with these beautiful, gorgeous plants, and I just have to nurture them and take care of them. But this is the last year of the big garden. The individual who owns the land that I garden on, it's not my property, is building a beautiful house on it. And I'm going to go from that reality to the reality of a small greenhouse on my property at home. And I'm excited about it because it's a whole different kind of gardening, right? And I want to trick it out, make it look, kind of cool looking and, a little bit funky, and also fit into the landscaping, which my wife Kathy and I pay a lot of attention to. And so I'm gonna evolve my growing from, in the case of this year, 120 tomato plants to maybe 5. Now everyone asked me this question. How, you guys can and stuff, what are you going to do? Well, if we really want to can to that volume, I can buy tomatoes. Local farms, they sell by the bushel. I don't know if everybody knows that, but lots of places you can go and buy a bushel of tomatoes. And if we really want to can to that extent, we'll do that. I'll miss it, but in this year, I think I saw a local weather person say we're 6.5, somewhere around 6 inches lower than normal on rainfall. And I will be honest with you, the areas of my garden that I don't water, where the plants aren't, I should say, are deserts. And then you have this really rich area where the plant is, where I've been watering, where it's been fertilized. It's like night and day. And the compacted walkway that I have down the center, I have to post a picture of this. I haven't done one in a while of what the garden looks like. Every year it's different. I kind of stagger things around, move and rotate crops. It is a hard path going down the center of the garden. I mean, almost like if you paved it. That's how hard it is. That's how dry it is. So we need rain, folks. All right, after the break, I got a little bit of time before the top of the hour. Don't forget, Steve ruled the world after the top of the hour news. And today, this is kind of an oldie but goodie. I was thinking about this, and it's not related to my relationship with my neighbors, who are all great. How to tell if your neighbor's nuts. It's a real thing. I will give you a roadmap, a guidebook, a pamphlets, an audio, whatever, to deciphering the weird conduct of your neighbors. That's coming up at 11:08. All right, quick break. I want to talk about the, now we know, imploded-exploded sub, question mark, because we don't know exactly what happened. And some of the bad takes I heard and saw related to that story. We'll do that after this on WTMJ.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Donate blood at the Red Cross Milwaukee County Zoo Blood Drive on Monday, June 26th through Wednesday, June 28th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. All presenting donors will receive free same-day zoo admission, parking, and a free pair of tickets to Summerfest while supplies last. To learn more and make an appointment, visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. That's 1-800-RED-CROSS.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors. CertainTeed Diamond Level Select Shingle Masters. The best of the best. And that's why you can feel confident in choosing us to install your new roof.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
There seem to be a lot of mergers and acquisitions in the insurance business. To share some knowledge about the impact, I'm talking with Jeff Salasinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Hi, Vince. Have you heard from your insurance agent recently? Did they take time to personally discuss your most recent renewal or the changes impacting your business? It may just be poor service, or it may be because they've been acquired or sold. The insurance market's too dynamic and too complex today to allow the uncertainty associated with mergers and acquisitions to put your business at risk. Being stable during uncertain times is a valuable asset. If 48 years of stability, local family ownership, and deep industry knowledge are important to you, you need to learn more about R&R Insurance.
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
As a business insurance top 100 agency, R&R Insurance will be focused on you, the client, and not the progress and payout of an acquisition. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show.
So let me just get this straight about the whole Titanic debacle. You have a small gaggle of obscenely rich men participating in tragedy tourism by going down to the Titanic, in which a disproportionate amount of poor people died in the incident due to the greed and classism of the upper class. And these men have now become a macabre spectacle that they themselves were originally oohing and awing. Because now nobody is ever going to talk about anything regarding these five except the awful, viscerally terrifying way that they probably died. It's irony at its peak.
God, that's mind-numbingly dumb. And that's what passes for, like, criticism and hot takes now. And I don't even know who that is. I picked it out on social media, some moron. Look, a bad thing happened to some people, and I was listening to the coverage, and they'd weave in some, apparently some thought leaders who said, you know what, this is like overprivileged rich people. They don't deserve our compassion. Really? That's how we're going to judge people now? By how much money they have? Too much of this goes on in today's world. Somebody that has money, considered rich, whatever that means in today's world, whatever that means to you. We have less compassion when they're in a horrible situation, which this was, because they had money, means. Look, do I wish everyone could just do whatever they want? They could go on a vacation to wherever, Hawaii, just pick a place, regardless of their means? Sure. But that's not the world we live in. Some people have bigger houses than other people. Some people have apartments versus houses. The world's not fair. We strive to have fairness. We strive to make things as equitable and as fair as possible. But we don't just hand out stuff. And this reeks of that silly and I don't want to condemn young people. This is a younger person who we played. Just this weird desire to have a hot take that's going to get her some attention. And yes, she did get played on my show, but I want to point out to you that this is the way we should not be thinking. Whether they were rich or not doesn't matter. Compassion isn't weighed by how much money you have in your wallet or your bank. Right? And to hear these weird sort of like write-offs of people because they have means and they're able to afford to go on this $250,000 excursion to the Titanic and died, that you don't care about them because they're rich? Look, it's a different question completely. Should they have gone there? I'll agree. No. We've seen the Titanic. Why would we risk lives with a still questionable technology that may or may not keep you safe when you go down there to satisfy this weird thrill for, like an hour spent, submarining around the Titanic? What haven't we learned? What haven't we seen already? And I feel especially sad for the youngest victim, the son of one of the other victims, who was around 19 years old and apparently did not want to go on this, and they left on Father's Day. And it sounds like, according to a lot of the reports now, that this vehicle, this submarine, may have imploded or exploded as soon as it got down there. And the fact that a billionaire was one of the victims, I don't care. I can say that they shouldn't go there, but I also have compassion for the people that died. However they died, quickly or slowly, doesn't matter. I have compassion. Rich or poor, also have compassion. If there's one thing that social media has done, it's given us a plethora of idiots like this who espouse nonsensical takes, hot or otherwise, to get likes or clicks or whatever. She's another moron. That's all I need to know. After the break for news, if Steve ruled the world, a special how to tell if your neighbor is nuts. A little bit of greatest hits in here. We got some great music as well, some fun clips. That's all coming up after the news here on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Wisconsin weather can put a damper on things, but don't let it ruin your outdoor plans. Sister Bay Furniture is furniture built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Built from premium, sustainable materials, Sister Bay Furniture endures the grueling conditions of Wisconsin weather. That's commercial-grade quality for your outdoor space. Stop by their showroom today, located out in Sussex on Executive Drive, or visit their website today at sisterbayfurniture.com. Sister Bay Furniture, built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin.
When a new baby is added to the mix, saving money becomes a real priority. Shopping at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores can help. With an abundance of baby clothing and toys, all thrift store priced at pennies on the dollar. You'll spend a little to get a lot. Find great deals on gently used baby clothes and toys at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi.
Celebrate America. Doesn't mean you're celebrating a country that's perfect, because none are. None. But we can certainly celebrate a country that gives us freedom. Not the first, but they're saying, you know what, enough with the nonsense. I'm a big fan of saying enough with the nonsense. The answer is you're pissed off about it because it doesn't do what your wish list is. My only suggestion is to you, get a different job or grow the hell up, because it's not going to get any better than this.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
It's the standing around and the filming of stuff, as opposed to trying to say something, trying to get involved. Instead, we just video things. And I wonder if that really makes us a better society. One of the greatest gifts that you can give young people is the gift of literature. That, teach them to read. Do you have any idea how long it would take to look at A Million Pennies?
Weekdays from noon to 3 on WTMJ.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The wait is over. Summerfest is here. Come see WTMJ broadcast live during Summerfest inside the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio in the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. Celebrate Summerfest with us. News Radio WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 11:01, it is 76 degrees. Mostly sunny today. Hazy, however, a high about 87. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Mike Spalding. A hit and run, a police chase, and a multi-vehicle crash on Milwaukee's northwest side overnight. Police say it began when a 24-year-old woman struck a pedestrian near 36th and Florist, running from the scene and eventually crashing into another vehicle near 35th and Silver Spring. The woman, police say, had 5 kids in the car with her. One of them was a 6-year-old boy who was slightly hurt, currently being treated at the hospital. The pedestrian was identified only as a 42-year-old man, is listed in serious condition. New details this morning regarding a plane crash in Watertown last week that resulted in the death of a man and his grandson. TMJ4's Simone Woolridge.
Investigators say the pilot, William Buchholz, flew into low clouds. Investigators say the plane changed speed, direction, and altitude several times. It then dove nose first toward the ground. They believe the engine was operating until impact. Both Buchholz and his grandson died in that crash.
A full FAA investigation, they say, could take several months. Veteran explorers now providing some reaction to the loss of a private submersible during a dive to the Titanic wreckage.
Titanic director James Cameron has been part of more than a dozen expeditions to the Titanic wreck. He told ABC News the doomed Titan submersible was trying to apply aviation principles to deep-sea diving.
We all said that it was, a flawed idea, and they didn't go through certification, so it wasn't sort of peer-reviewed by other engineering entities.
He specifically highlighted the submersible's carbon fiber hull. OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush was one of the 5 people killed when the submersible was lost. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Out east, less than 2 weeks after a stretch of I-95 collapsed in Philadelphia, the highway is set to reopen today. Pennsylvania Governor John Shapiro thanking President Biden for his support.
He was on the phone with me multiple times. He flew over this site. The president has been fully engaged, and we thank him.
On June 11th, a tanker truck carrying fuel crashed and burned on an exit ramp. Work crews raced around the clock to install a temporary span to help get the major traffic artery back open. Here at home, a longtime volunteer with the Stars and Stripes Honor Flights has been charged with embezzling at least $80,000.
Police say that after she left the organization, she ran her own nonprofit, collecting $100,000+ that was slated to go to Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. The Honor Flight organization never got most of that money. Nagay, according to police, has now admitted her wrongdoing, cannot repay the money, and faces a felony. That felony is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. John Merkier, WTMJ News.
Sports traffic weather next. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:03.
Headlines, texts, emails, the TV, the computer, the phone, even your smartwatch, every day. Market volatility can lead to anxiety and planning paralysis. No surprise, Americans report being stressed about their investment and retirement plans. Turn down the media roar. Dial up the planning. Put Annex Wealth Management on your side for investment and retirement guidance that includes tax and estate planning. Head to AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management.
June is here, and as a Wisconsinite, you know that means nothing but blue skies and sunshine. So when the rubber meets the road, you better be ready for the rising temperatures ahead. This is Jim Griffin. We'll make vehicle maintenance easy peasy and breezy with summer service specials. We'll change your oil, inspect and rotate your tires, check the battery and air filter, give it a complete multi-point inspection, check your AC, and even change your wiper blades, all for $129.95. Good at all 5 Griffin dealerships.
Kessler's is famous
nationwide for diamond engagement rings.
But what most people don't know
is that Kessler's is equally amazing at wedding bands.
Engagement rings come in thousands of styles.
But not all engagement rings come with a matching wedding band.
No problem.
No problem. No problem.
You heard the part about equally amazing wedding bands, right?
That's real. We are amazing at wedding bands. We have a wedding band that is going to look fantastic. Fantabulous. Incomprehensibly good. With your engagement ring.
It's going to look really good.
Ricky.
I prefer Rick.
You need to work with us.
Yeah, Ricky. Work with us.
Seriously, you're going to be extremely happy with what you find at Kessler's. Our sales associates are good at helping you find the perfect wedding band.
Much better, Ricky.
I prefer Rick.
Yeah, Ricky. Much better. Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
The Milwaukee Bucks officially began their new era under head coach Adrian Griffin on Thursday night. Milwaukee entering the night with just one selection, number 58th overall, but moved up to number 36 in a trade with Orlando as the Magic received the Bucks' 2030 second-round pick as well as cash considerations. With that selection, the Bucks picking UConn guard Andre Jackson Jr., but that wasn't it for the Bucks as they also picked up Chris Livingston out of Kentucky with the 58th overall selection. From the NBA to baseball, as the Milwaukee Brewers will begin a 10-game road trip that begins tonight in Cleveland to take on the Guardians. Coverage of that game gets underway right here on WTMJ beginning at 5:35. Wade Miley expected to get the start for the Brew Crew. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads in your Johnson & Sons paving. Time save for traffic. Things are looking good across the system this morning. No major issues, no major delays.
Traffic is brought to you by the senior real estate specialists at brucesteam.com. With you every step of the way. From downsizing to selling the long-time home, the senior real estate specialists at Bruce's team are with you every step of the way. 262-242-6177.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly sunny today, bit hazy, a high of 87. Overnight tonight, clear skies, a low 62. Tomorrow, sunny, a bit warmer, a bit more humid as well, a high of 90 degrees. Sunday, that humidity will break. However, some rain showers are expected, a high 78. Monday, chance of showers, mostly cloudy and breezy, a high 73. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 72 degrees. Here in Milwaukee right now, 76. I'm Mike Spalding, Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 11:07.
Breaking down the biggest stories, talking about what really matters, and bringing you the biggest forum to let your voice be heard. Now, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, here's Steve Scaffidi.
And well, there we go. Now I can hear myself. Whew. You miss a couple days of work, everything changes. Welcome to the 11 o'clock hour, Friday edition. I'm off 2 days, work 1 day, off 2 days. I love that schedule. No complaints. Hopefully you had a great week as we wind it down. So I often debate myself. I say to myself, Steve, what do you want to talk about as part of It's Steve the World? And, you know, I've got great neighbors for the most part. And we're very conscious of our yards, which is a good thing. I spent the last 2 days in my yard, for those who are landscapers, re-edging all my landscape beds. I mean, tedious work, but it looks fantastic. Now just waiting for the mulch and all the pressure's on my mulch guy to get that in, and said it's coming next week, so we shall see. So I thought, because I love the topic, the relationship issue between neighbors, right? So we have extremes on this. We have everybody loves their neighbor, right? You know, being a faith guy, I think that's important. Loving your neighbor, appreciating them, understanding there's differences. And then there's like the hate your neighbor folks. But there's also that nuance of they're just crazy or nuts. So today's edition of It's Steve Ruled the World, how to tell if your neighbor is nuts.
Steve ruled the world.
All right, you probably know this first one has to do with grass. You know what's coming? 3 simple words. Cut your grass. You look at your neighbor's yard and the grass is higher than a carload of Wisconsinites coming back from an Illinois weed trip. They're either stoners or they're nuts. Now, you would think this would be fairly straightforward, right? You only have to cut it for, 4 months out of the year here in Wisconsin? Chances are if you have a house, you have a lawnmower. Those two things kind of go together. Matter of fact, here in Wisconsin, most people probably have more than one because we never throw anything away. Let's just say there's a lot of unofficial junkyards in the old Badger State. And most of this stuff is not a treasure. American Pickers isn't coming to your garage anytime soon. They'd walk in and go, this is junk, let's go. So let's focus on a basic fact. And you've heard me say this before, but this is the greatest hits, and I'm going to give you this again because it's important that we understand this. And some of my neighbors, as great as they are, still don't understand this. Grass grows on an irregular or inconsistent basis. If it's rainy, it grows faster. If it's dry, it may go dormant. It will go brown. Then you don't have to cut it, other than the weeds. So nature has already built in a natural break. A drought like we're in here in southeastern Wisconsin, real or the scientific definition or just what feels real, means no grass cutting, or at least not as often. I don't care if you watch NASCAR every Sunday. When you need it, cut your grass. I don't care if the mosquitoes are bad, cut your grass. I don't care if you want to spend all your free time watching Fox TV or MSNBC or whatever it is. Cut your grass. I don't even care if you run out of Busch Lights. Cut your grass. If you don't, well, you just may be nuts.
Are we clear? Yes, sir. Are we clear?
If Steve ruled the world.
I don't know if you're like me, and chances are you're probably not. But have you run across a neighbor who treats their property as their own personal junkyards? I alluded to this earlier. Old tires, remnants of old landscaping projects. And by the way, quick aside, I love the enthusiasm for a new landscaping project, but when you commit to a landscaping project, that's a lifelong commitment, or at least as long as you own that house. What looks fantastic year one often looks pretty horrific in year 5. Constant upkeep, re-edge, remulch, thin your plants. All right. So, we've all seen these, right? Broken down snowmobiles, bikes, some cases vehicles that haven't moved in decades, flat tires. Now, some people might say, my yard, my rules. Technically, that's incorrect. Local ordinances have plenty of restrictions on what you can have on display in eyesight of your neighbors. Here's an idea. Most communities have recycling centers or garbage facilities where you can drop off all this old junk for free or for a very minimal charge. Since I'm all about doing good deeds and paying it forward, how about turning off like the latest episode of The Bachelorette for an hour, get out of the chair, offer to help your neighbor load up his treasures? What's the worst thing that can happen? They say no? Well, actually, the worst thing would be they lose their minds, tell you to mind your business, and threaten to blow your head off, but let's be positive. Maybe, just maybe, it's a chance to thaw that relationship. And if they do end up going all deliverance on you, you know what's coming, don't you? Well, then you know they're nuts. Question answered.
If Steve ruled the world.
Always be the Burt Reynolds character, not the Ned Beatty character. That's my advice to you. I don't know about you, but I've noticed that people aren't as carefree as they used to be. It used to be people would just put their favorite politician's bumper sticker on their cars. Then it was cardboard lawn signs. Now, of course, it's not uncommon to see sheets of plywood on your neighbor's front lawn, hand-painted with clever slogans like "Let's go Brandon" or "F this" and "F that." And seriously, how hard is it to spell the F word, really? And the lack of originality in these things is rather stunning. But that on its own is not a guarantee that your neighbor's nuts. But if you have a neighbor engaged in this exercise of homemade signdom, and they've installed a camera system to monitor not their house but their sign, you might just have a crazy neighbor on your hands. Now, I'm all about freedom of speech and all that goes with it, but freedom of crazy, that's just stepping all over the Constitution. If you have one of those plywood sign-loving neighbors, maybe play this song very loud on your car radio every time you see him in the yard.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue.
If Steve ruled the world.
Patsy Cline, everybody. A word on neighbors and their lawn decorations. Now, I'm a big fan of the stone deer, the bird bass. I have one. Even the fake waterfalls, if done properly, they look great. All in. Here's the list of things that don't qualify as lawn decorations. Any political sign when the election for said sign has already taken place. Any holiday decorations that is more than a month out from the actual celebration of the holiday. Nope. No leaving the icicle lights hanging on your gutter. I have a neighbor who has them up right now. It's late June, for Pete's sake. Don't make me come over there. Shopping carts. I don't care if you fill them with planted flowers, non-starter with me. Pieces of furniture that you've adapted to be landscaping features in your yard. That includes beds, dressers, bookshelves, toilets, and all appliances, really. See my earlier comment on junkyards. And enough with the theme park treatments of your front yard when it comes to Halloween, and your other holidays. There are plenty of places we can drive to if we want to see a real-life reenactment of the nativity scene, or the stories of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Nightmare on Elm Street. I actually like Halloween, the candy part, not your lame attempt to recreate a Hollywood movie set. And yes, your yard can be an extension of your home, but it shouldn't feature the same things you actually sleep on, store your food in, or in the case of the toilet, well, you know where I'm going with that. If you got a neighbor who imagines themselves a Hollywood set decorator, there's a very good chance they may be as crazy as that MyPillow guy, which if you don't know, is about a 13 on a 1 to 10 scale.
Taken down because we have all the election fraud with these Dominion machines. We have 100% proof. And then when they took it down about 3 weeks ago, and then when I put it back up, my personal, it was a
Mike, thank you very much. Mike, you're talking about machines that we at Newsmax have not been able to verify any of those kinds of allegations. We just want to let people know that there's nothing substantive that we've seen. And let me read you something there.
If Steve ruled the world.
Man, when Newsmax shuts you down, you know you've really gone to the road to crazy town. Here's a few quick tips to figuring out if your neighbor's crazy. If they cut their grass after midnight, probably crazy. If they leave their garage open 24/7, 365, and then complain about having mice, rats, or even worse in their houses, good chance they're crazy. If they argue about politics at a neighborhood block party where no one even mentioned anything about politics, most likely crazy. If they decide to pack up their family, move to a rural part of the state because they feel the government is out to get them, well, congrats, your crazy neighbor has moved out of your neighborhood, but in all likelihood, their new neighbors will also think they're crazy, and even though they live a mile away, will still be disappointed a crazy person has moved close to them. Last but not least, if your neighbor is fond of massive fireworks displays on days not related to the 4th of July, they could be crazy. Or just a fan of spending insane amounts of money for something that lasts like 20 minutes. What recession? Have you seen the numbers for fireworks, alcohol, or theme parks? Off the charts. And if your neighbor is a fan of all three at the same time, that is all the proof you need.
Baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you work. Make 'em go, as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go, you're gonna leave 'em all in
If Steve ruled the world.
Speaking of neighbors who are just really bad at being neighbors or quite frankly owning anything that involves maintenance and upkeep, my apologies to Jeff Foxworthy here, but you know you're a redneck when your pickup truck is parked, not in the driveway, but on your front lawn. You know you're a redneck when the lawn service companies don't even leave a flyer on your front door. You know you're a redneck when you can't even find your lawnmower in your yard and you don't have a shed or a garage on your property. You know you're a redneck when your wood fence is actually wood pallets stacked end to end on the neighbor's property line. One more, if you actually mow around the tipped over cooler from a summer party that's been laying in your backyard for 3 months, probably a redneck, but let's go to the expert.
If you've been on television more than 5 times describing what the tornado sounded like, you might be a redneck. If you've ever cut your grass and found a car, you might be a redneck. If your dad walks you to school because you're in the same grade, you might be a redneck.
If Steve ruled the world.
Oh, he's the best at it. Last but not least, really the last but not least, if you ever happen to be invited over to your neighbor's house for a get-together and you see any of the following things on display, run as far and as fast as you can. a Confederate flag flying on their front yard flagpole. You know where the American flag is supposed to be? And any recent shipping boxes lying around which have MyPillow branding prominently displayed on them. On its face, that indicates bad judgment. Best night's sleep, my... And if the neighbor offers you a drink, or in the vernacular of the crazy, a little something to take the edge off, check the seal on the bottle. If it's readily apparent the seal is broken, slowly back up, thank them for their hospitality, and run for the front door. Chances are you'll get there before they do, because they're probably drunk. Good luck. That's this week's
If Steve ruled the world.
Take us a break.
Hey, Sandy, I still got some time before my show starts. Let's go play some cornhole.
Well, it's nice of you to invite me, Jeff, but I still got to prepare for the news. Plus, who actually calls it cornhole? Isn't it bags?
Whatever you call it, it's all at Summerfest. You can check out Jeff Wagner broadcasting live at Summerfest on Thursdays and Fridays from noon to 3 in the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Mobile Studio at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone by the lakefront.
Cornhole.
Bags!
Cornhole.
It's WTMJ at Summerfest 2023.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Educators Credit Union, ECU.com. Best way to find out. When you open an Educators Credit Union checking account, you can say goodbye to surprise fees and hello to a whole lot of perks. Enjoy their great rewards program, cash back, discounts, card customization. I have an OC card. I love it. With their convenient digital services, a nationwide network of over 60,000. Yes, 60,000 fee-free ATMs. You can also access your account anytime, anywhere. Join Educators Credit Union today. Take advantage of all the benefits that come with a checking account. Get started at ECU.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Fleet Farm fans, you asked, we listened. You wanted lower prices? You got them. In-store, online. We drop prices everywhere. Lower prices on summer favorites like Liquid Pool Shock, Griller's Gold Barbecue Pellets, and Airhead Towables. Lower prices on big name pet care like Purina Tidy Cats. Lower prices on Valvoline motor oils. All because you said so. Look for the bright green price drop signs to find new lower prices on everything you need for everyday life. Only at Fleet Farm.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
The technology frustrations we hear about, hands down, ease of use. We take that complexity out of it and keep it down to the bare minimum of what they need and what they use. Our goal is to lend a level of simplicity that any knowledge level can walk into that room and at a glance know exactly how to turn that room on and utilize all of its features.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
We are not called to a life of peace on every side, but to a life of witness, a life of bearing crosses. For some, it will be one great sacrifice. For most of us, we'll give our lives away for others a little bit at a time. Tears, fire, and a song. This is who we are.
Dr. Dean Nattasdy, this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. At Creative Planning, we have an entire team working for you, including wealth advisors, CPAs, and attorneys, all working together, all in one place. Let Creative Planning show you a richer way to wealth. Visit creativeplanning.com. That's creativeplanning.com.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's 4th of July sale is going on now. We're saluting the red, white, and blue with unbeatable deals on everything you need to celebrate outdoors. Like 20-pound bags of B&B Hickory Lump Charcoal. Buy one, get one half price. Assorted Technor Apex Zero G hoses start at $34.99. New at Blaine's, save $12 by mail-in rebate on Valspar Accolade interior paint and get $200 off a 12-inch sliding DeWalt compound miter saw.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
While the warm weather has you feeling like new, get old with a money market account from Old National Bank and earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield. Whether you're saving up for something big or just for a rainy day, Old National is here for you. Earn 5.00% APY with our limited time 12-month introductory money market offer. To earn the promotional rate, account must be funded with a minimum of $10,000 not on deposit at Old National as of April 14th, 2023. Learn more at oldnational.com or visit a local banking center today. Offer not available online. Member FDIC. Old National Bank. Get old.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula.
If you were formerly breathing properly and we just plugged your nose up, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it for a few minutes. You're not going to like it for an hour. You wouldn't stand it for a day. If we're talking weeks, you're going to be clawing at the walls to get that thing off. And if we're talking months to years to decades, many of our patients are basically walking around with clothespins on their nose and they don't know any difference. They've never experienced what life is supposed to be like when you breathe properly, and so for them, they feel like it's normal. It should be no surprise that many of the folks that we treat have downstream conditions. So if somebody's nose isn't working properly, if somebody's throat isn't working properly, they're not breathing properly. And when you don't breathe properly, it creates problems for your body.
When you breathe well, you live better. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment today.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Hey, join Sandy Max and the American Red Cross for our WTMJ Cares, our latest WTMJ Cares event, the Milwaukee County Zoo Blood Drive. Donate blood during this 3-day drive, Monday, June 26th through Wednesday the 28th, to help boost the supply of necessary blood during this shortage. Plus, if you register for the event, receive free zoo admission and tickets to Summerfest. The Summerfest tickets are available while supplies last. For more information and to sign up, text BLOOD, BLOOD, to 855-616-1620. It's WTMJ Cares with our very own Sandy Max with the help of Gruber Law Offices. Sandy doing a great job on our first WTMJ Cares event. If you missed any or all of the Steve Ruled the World, how to tell if your neighbor is nuts, easy. Just go to our podcast page. Wherever you find podcasts, Steve Scaffidi Show, Steve Ruled the World. How to tell if your neighbor is nuts, thanks to Jeff Waxworthy. Theme from Deliverance was in. It was almost a greatest hits. Katy Perry, Fireworks Twice. That was some good stuff. And thanks for all the nice comments on the Old National Bank talk and text line. All right. Leading up to the next half hour, I was not here Wednesday. I was off Wednesday and Thursday. So, a shortened special edition of Ask Steve Anything. Any question, fair game. Politics, culture, entertainment, sports, blood drives, whatever you want to talk about. The submarine, which some people's reaction still ticks me off. I can't be compassionate because they're rich. Shut up. Actually, shut the hell up. There you go. I finished my own thought. So any question is fair game. Any comments that you want to make, 855-616-1620. We'll try to get weekend review in as well. So much stuff happening on the show on this Friday. I tell you the one thing about being off for a couple of days, you get out of show mode quickly. I didn't listen to radio, although I love my teammates here at WTMJ and Good Karma. I went to Summerfest, did a lot of yard work, took care of the garden. Enjoyed time with my wife, Kathy. Sat outside, ate outside. Weather, as much as we want rain, those of us who garden, you can't beat this weather. It's like so nice. And it sounds like it'll continue for most of the weekend. And then finally on Sunday, we may get some well-needed rain, much-needed rain, which makes life easier for all of us who try to grow things or keep our grass green. My water bill for the last month is going to be very high. All right. Ask Steve Anything, shortened edition. Any question, fair game, 855-616-1620. Thanks for all the kind words about If Steve Ruled the World. If you missed it, just go to the podcast page, easiest place, WTMJ.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. And that goes for the whole show, the Political Power Hour, all that stuff, all available 24/7, 365. What a world we live in. All right, it's 11:30 here at WTMJ from our Avenue Studios in beautiful downtown Milwaukee with our news update, Connie Weber.
Thanks, Steve. A Cudahy man who'd been hiding in the attic of a home, restrained by the homeowner on a balcony, was eventually arrested. Police say it's Robert Turner, who allegedly offered the homeowner $300 not to call police. The arrest came a day after they were called to the neighborhood by residents who reported a man jumping from roof to roof. And after hearing gunshots, they ordered residents to shelter in place. That happened June 18th. Turner served time for murder after a 2007 conviction. A couple in Lafayette County in southwestern Wisconsin facing dozens of charges in connection to the deaths of more than 200 goats on their property. The Lafayette County Sheriff's Office says Kyle and Stephanie Lincecum had no hay or feed on the farm when they were called to the property earlier this month. Black employee at a Walmart in Providence, Rhode Island, placed in a cage asking for bail money as part of a donation drive for the Hasbro Children's Miracle Network. The Lifespan Health System that operates the state's award-winning hospitals has asked Walmart to refrain from doing anything like that in the future. Corporate spokesperson said the fundraiser was against existing Walmart policies. Over 7 million Baby Shark bath toys being recalled. Consumer Product Safety Commission says the Pink Frog brand Baby Shark Sing and Swim bath toys have hard plastic top fins that pose a risk of impalement, lacerations, and punctures. At least 12 kids have been hurt falling or sitting on the full-size bath toys. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The markets are down today. The Dow is off 138 points. S&P 500 is down 20. The Nasdaq Composite is down 91. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. 94 inbound from Highway 16 to the Zoo, about a 10-minute drive. And the Zoo to downtown is about the same. That's usually about a 6-minute commute. 4145 southbound from Highway Q to the Zoo interchange, running about a typical 13. And 43 south from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette interchange, about a 10-minute drive this morning.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores, Highway 100 in Layton Avenue, 23rd in Lincoln. Great stores, great cause, and unbelievable bargains. You're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. We have that hazy sunshine today. It is going to be warm. Highs 83 to 87 inland. Clear tonight with a low 62. Sunday, warmer, more humid tomorrow with a high 84 lakeside, 90 inland. Sunday and Monday, we have a chance for showers, maybe thunderstorms. Partly sunny and humid Sunday, 78 for the high. Monday's high 73. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 72. Right now, we have 80 in Menominee Falls, 77 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Hey, Wisconsin, Greg Matzik for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, where the summer road trip sale is on. Perfect timing to gear up for the adventures ahead, get more for your trade, and say yes to enticing offers on favorites from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, or a GM-certified pre-owned model. Shop a rapidly expanding selection, explore what's new, treat yourself to a test drive, and experience Holiday's genuine guest care and refreshingly different, simplified buying approach. It's the stuff that delights drivers from all over the Badger State who have made Holiday Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer and Buick Dealer of the Year. Accolades are per 2022 Buick and GMC Zone sales records. As a repeat customer and fan myself, I can say with confidence you are in great hands with Team Holiday on your side. So find yours and discover the difference during the summer road trip sale at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Legend has it, Spanish conquistador Ponce de Leon searched for the legendary Fountain of Youth. This wellspring had the power to restore new life to anyone who drank from it. Poor Ponce chased this miracle from Florida to Bimini and back without any success. Eric Smith here, and yes, the secret to a longer life can be, well, elusive. Unless that is, you know exactly where to look. When it comes to your home's air conditioner, the gurus at Austin Plumbing, Heating, and Air hold the secret treasure map. The magic here is in training and expertise. We won't bang on your AC with a broom, tell you everything's hunky-dory, and then take your money. Instead, we'll take your machine apart, examine it, lubricate it, restore it back to factory specifications. Basically, explore ways your air conditioner can be more energy efficient so you can experience worry-free, cool comfort all summer. In the quest for your air conditioner's fountain of youth, book a revitalizing tune-up from Austin Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Online at teamaustin.com.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Happy Friday, everybody. Off to the weekend. Weather here looks fantastic. Hopefully it's great where you are. Thanks for taking the time to find our show. Any or all of our shows are available on our podcast page, WTMJ.com, or wherever you get your podcasts, including the If Steve Ruled the World, which was brilliant today, if I pat myself on the back. How to tell if your neighbor is nuts. As I said, a shortened special edition of Ask Steve Anything. So we have a few moments here before we hand it off to Jeff at the top of the hour. Let's go to Linda, who's first up, calling from the beautiful city of Brookfield. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful on this Friday. Looking forward to the weekend.
Great.
What's your
Great.
question?
Well, I know that you had cable TV and you dropped it and you switched to, was it Fubo or YouTube?
YouTube TV.
YouTube TV. How do you like it?
I love it.
I like it.
But I'm always cautious with people when because they ask me a lot about this. So I love it. It is much cheaper. Now, there are some limits. You don't have access to the Brewers broadcasts, which is, for a lot of people, a deal breaker. So I just listen on the radio because we, of course, carry the games on WTMJ. And Bob Uecker is the best. The other thing is it's not as easy to use as like a cable box. For example, cable box, you punch in whatever your favorite channel number is, 5. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way on YouTube. You go to a guide, you press a button on your remote, it takes you to a guide, you scroll up and down, and then you pick the channel that you want to watch. It's a little bit more cumbersome, but the savings, I mean, I cut my costs by, 2/3.
Okay.
Signal quality is great.
I get regular channels?
Yes, you get the local TV channels, which I love. The picture quality is fantastic. I get some channels that I didn't get on Uverse. So for me, it's a win.
Right. Can you record?
You can do all of that, yes. And it has a really unique way to record. You can tell them what shows you like, and then it automatically records them and puts them in a place called the library where you can access them at any time. So thanks for the call, Linda. Hopefully I answered her question there. Scott is next up. Scott calling from Hartford. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
I'm good on this Friday. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. The temperature on the back of my thermometer at my house is 105. I think it's broke.
Are you in the sun? I think that thermometer's in the sun. That would be hot.
That would be very toasty. I feel like I'm in South Texas if that was the case. But I wanted to talk to you about the great stadium debate here. So I have some questions for you first before I ask my question. The state owns the stadium, is that correct?
Stadium district, but through
the taxpayers.
Yeah,
of the
yes,
state.
yes, correct.
Okay. The Brewers are willing to commit to an additional 20 years if they get the funding.
Right.
The Brewers pay rent to the state, correct?
I think so. Yes.
And the state has what, a $3 billion surplus?
$7 billion surplus.
Yeah, $7 billion surplus. So the Brewers, not the Brewers, the stadium district is asking for what, just over $400 million for the next 20 years for stadium improvements.
Yeah, upgrades, things that gradually deteriorate over time.
So to me, the only problem is the fact that Milwaukee County and the city don't want to participate. Well, what else is the problem?
What do you mean? Like what else? So beyond that, what's the problem?
Yeah, beyond the fact that the state says they can't come up with a deal. Why can't they come up with a deal? Does it just go back to the fact that Republicans and Democrats can't get along no matter what the issue is?
If I had a bell, I'd ring it. But yeah, that's probably a lot of it. Look, and thanks for the call, Scott. Look, this has to get figured out. It will get figured out. But there's a lot of animosity, and this is not breaking news. There's a lot of animosity between Republicans and Democrats in the state of Wisconsin, right? Republicans think one way on many things. Democrats think differently. One of the things I was encouraged by recently was the thawing or softening of those tension points over budget, shared revenue, pick an issue, education. And they seem to, Governor Tony Evers, who's a Democrat, Republican legislature led by Robin Vos in the Assembly and Devin Lemon here in the Senate, seem to have figured that out with, by the way, the cooperation of Milwaukee. But apparently some of the folks in Milwaukee are butthurt about any compromise. They don't like the fact that, and I think they have every right to do it, somebody in Madison saying, You're not doing it right in Milwaukee. Here's what we think you should do. I have zero problem with that because in many ways you're not doing it right in Milwaukee. But here's the deal on this. Milwaukee, they have to contribute to this in some fashion. Maybe it's part of this tax increase that will be passed. Maybe it's something else. This is a stadium that we own, essentially, that is utilized by a Major League Baseball franchise, which are pretty unique. And there's other cities that would take them in a second. I don't want to revisit when the Braves left. Now, doesn't make the Brewers perfect. Doesn't mean they shouldn't kick in. All of those things should happen. The only way this gets done, in my opinion, is a sense of shared responsibility, a sense of shared ownership, and a sense of we're going to share the burden here. We're all going to contribute. City, county, state, maybe even private sector, and the Brewers. That's how it should work, in my opinion. If we're going to have a facility like this, we have to maintain it. And to not maintain it abdicates your responsibility when you own something. Just like a house. You don't fix the roof every 25 years. That's on you. So get the funding to fix that roof, reshingle it, whatever. That's a reality of ownership, and that's something I think we all have to realize when it comes to the Brewers. Now, we don't all agree on this. Joseph Pecky's a Democrat, does not want to put any money in on this deal. That's typically a Republican position. Bill McCoshen is my Republican strategist. He wants a deal. So it's not as easy as Republican and Democrats, but it is as easy as getting to a compromise. And in this state, we know, having seen what we just saw, compromise is possible. Quick break. Ask Steve anything. What's your question after this?
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
There are few things in life that people get as emotional over than their finances, and that can be very dangerous when it comes to your investments. This is Jill Schlesinger, business analyst. Did you know investors lose money every year because they trade on emotions, headlines, and hearsay instead of data? But there's a solution. StockCharts.com. StockCharts.com has been the leading online charting tool that experts and disciplined traders have used for over 20 years. By utilizing the most advanced online charts, they're able to view and understand market history and investor sentiment by using technical analysis to manage their risk and find opportunities. You can do the same. Go to StockCharts.com for a free 30-day trial, pick the stocks and indexes you want to track, review historical data, spot the trends, then make informed decisions and invest with confidence. You'll also have access to a knowledge bank from leading global analysts on how to interpret an ever-changing market. Better insights for smarter investing. Go to StockCharts.com and start your free 30-day trial today.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. When it comes to your investment and retirement planning, this is not a time to set it and forget it. Not with market volatility and concerns about the banking sector. If you're worried about your investment and retirement planning, it's time to take the bull by the horns. It's time for a plan built by Annex Wealth Management. Know where you are and where you can go based on working with Annex. Retirement investment planning, tax planning, estate planning. That's what Annex does. For those of you who are already retired, congratulations. How about a second look at your current plan? The Annex financial planning team takes everything into account and charts a path forward. It's not hard. Go to annexwealth.com, like I did, and click the now famous Get Started button every day. People just like you and me are visiting one of their 8 branches or meeting via Zoom. Know the difference. Start at annexwealth.com.
For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Your pain is likely due to a wear and tear process called osteoarthritis. Now, when you combine that with being a little overweight or not being as active as you'd like to be, you get into a downward pain spiral. At Rejuvenex, we control pain by precisely targeting and treating the areas where your pain lives, like shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, with our powerful FDA-approved treatments that cushion and lubricate the affected areas to deliver long-lasting pain relief. Now, like maintenance on a car, to maintain your relief, our team of physicians will follow up with you roughly every 6 to 18 months. My name is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. Rejuvenex is in-network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief. Really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
All right, happy Friday, everybody. Got one more question before we head to Weekend Review, sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. James, your last question of the day. James from the South Side. Hi, James.
Yes, I'm kind of curious. You've done so much. Have you ever thought of being an inventor, a singer, actor, or even a professional sports person, like a baseball player or anything of that nature?
Interesting. Thanks for the question. Sports, no, because I'm not good enough. Actor, I'm intrigued by it. Here's one of the things I talk about away from the show. I've always been intrigued by the idea of being a stand-up comic. I think it'd be fun to work that through. Now, I wouldn't be like the gag-a-minute guy. I'm more of a storyteller, so I would love to do that, getting to, obviously, the big punchline. More Seinfeld than, Louis C.K. or something like that. So, yeah, I could see do something else, but, we'll see. I like my current gig. All right, we do it every week on the show, every Friday on the show. Shots ring out after Milwaukee's Juneteenth festivities. Shared revenue legislation is signed into law. The 55th Big Gig kicks off, and more. It's the Weekend Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Wisconsin's state Republican committee says the future is full of opportunity as they met in La Crosse Saturday.
Wisconsin is not one of 50 states. We're one of 5. There's about 5 states in this country that are going to decide this presidential election.
Bouncer hit to left field, the base hit. Contreras is in. The throw coming on, and Miller is in.
Cudahy police sent out a statement saying that officers had reported hearing gunshots and they believe that they were being shot at. 2 police officers were then pinned down per their words and then were rescued by the South Shore Joint Tactical Unit's armored vehicle.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Today, Juneteenth, the holiday marking the end of slavery in the U.S.
We're going to keep this Juneteenth safe. This ain't nothing like Chicago. This is Milwaukee.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Centers, Milwaukee Juneteenth parade celebrations are winding down. There is a large police presence in the area of MLK and Chambers.
Officers reported to the scene with a report of shots fired.
4 females, 2 males, ranging in age from 14 to 19 years of age.
If you are an adult or a young person who's got your hands on a gun and you are ill-tempered, don't come to stuff like this. Don't come. Teens fighting, beefing, getting into stuff, that's not new. The difference is everybody is armed.
This compromise is a big deal for our kids, our families, and our communities across our state.
The deal now provides funding to local governments across the state and allows the city of Milwaukee to raise its sales tax if approved by 2/3 of the Common Council.
This shared revenue package for us means absolutely everything. It is our city's opportunity to start over.
Can I do this one?
What's happening in here?
The mic broke. The Toronto was rough. That is broken, bro. Toronto was roughhousing the mic. Way too hard on the equipment. Way too hard on the equipment.
It was fine when I walked out several minutes ago.
The Greenfield Health Department announced it would be here to celebrate Pride. That changed last week. Greenfield Mayor Mike Knightsky told me by text message they canceled over politics.
A sad ending to the search for a missing submersible with 5 people on board. The Coast Guard today said debris found near the Titanic shipwreck is from the Titan.
In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
The last thing somebody should be thinking about when they get into a sub to pay to go deep, they shouldn't have to worry about the sub that they're in. This is just engineering, and it's the 21st century.
From the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone, it's the Jeff Wagner Show, live from Summerfest.
This is his last official Summerfest. The CEO, Don Smiley. Don, thanks for joining us.
Hey, good afternoon, Jeff. It's 12:08. We've been open for 8 minutes, and it's great to be with you.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air.
All right, we are broadcasting live from Summerfest.
It's a happy vibe so far, and sunshine, and as they say, cooler by the lake. It's just one of those picture-perfect days with a nice breeze and a beautiful afternoon to kick it off.
Excited to welcome in our friend Scott Zeal, the Director of Entertainment for Milwaukee World
Festival, Inc.
There's a sense of relief, too, that it's just taken your whole team, all of your energy, everything. Then the relief of knowing that the first 3 days have perfect weather and that there's nothing that's going to stand in your way. Now it's about the people and the music and the experience.
A WTMJ exclusive. Longtime volunteer with Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, Joni Nugay, has been charged with embezzling at least $80,000 from the organization.
This was from a designated account that was listed as the account for We Run, They Fly. And repeatedly, according to prosecutors, that account ran down to zero.
I'm so angry, I'm shaking.
I feel that this woman needs to pay restitution. I don't care if they have to sell her house and all of her belongings.
Community service should be done at the VA hospital, changing the beds and emptying the bedpans of the veterans so she can look at them in the face.
The Sacramento Kings select Olivier Maxence Prosper from Montreal, Canada, the NBA Academy Latin America, and Marquette University. The Golden State Warriors select Brandon Pojemski from Santa Clara University.
What a week, eh?
What a week.
The Mary Poppins of sex rooms.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Wake up with me. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Tune in every Monday and Friday at 8:30 for Matzik's Morning Minute. Everything you need to know about all your favorite Wisconsin teams in just 60 seconds.
One pitch, Weimer drives one deep into left center field. Forget about it. 1-0 Milwaukee.
Mondays and Fridays at 8:30 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We are so excited and honored. Host the draft in 2025. It's a huge event. It's going to be spectacular.
Sponsored by Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Outdoor living here is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. And there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited and get creative about your yard. Your wishes, your ideas. Outdoor Living Unlimited's knowledge and expertise. Roll those dreams into reality. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com. That's OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Experience fast, affordable family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. With on-site camping, free parking, and free admission for kids 16 and younger when accompanied with an adult, Road America offers world-class racing and so much more. From sports cars to NASCARs, you can even host your next company picnic or family reunion. Get the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or call 800-365-7223. Road America, America's national park of speed.
The new Raid Essentials Light Trap uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. For insecticide protection that's people and pet friendly, get new Raid Essential Light Trap.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. I always thought Vince Lombardi came up with that famous sports nugget, but it turns out he borrowed it from a college coach. And now I'm going to borrow it too. Because when there are 10 or 20 offers on a property, there's only one winner. In today's inventory